Hey everybody! Apparently, we don't know how to go live.
Yes, apparently
Do you want
things
to start
need.
over?
Yes, apparently.
Let's start over. Why not? Yeah. Take two and roll them. Is it going to reset for no reason?
Good Saturday morning, everybody. Thank you for keeping up with us through any and all technical difficulties. We appreciate it. I am not Ralph Romano. He is away in jail.
That's right. He's serving his sentence. He's at a detox camp.
Yes, absolutely. Currently sweating on a beach somewhere, sipping Coronas, I'm sure. But of course, I am surrounded by good friends and good hosts, one of which is the legendary Neil Lynch.
I'm the legend. You're legendary.
I am legendary, Philip Amrine, and I've said this once and I'll say it again. We are sitting next to the sexiest host of all time that has ever graced the Weekend Warriors, the one, the only, my beloved Sports Girly.
Sports Girly!
Well, you guys have had Luke Wright on here.
We have.
Okay.
We don't pop champagne around him though. We pop kneecaps.
Oh.
Which
wow.
is an inside joke. If you know Luke Wright, you know that he has some
is.
really bad knees.
Wow.
Well, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are excited and ecstatic to have you here. Glad that you are along for the ride. All right. So, yes.
So before we get too far down the path of the self-congratulatory thing here, by the way, it is lovely to have you here, Sports Girly.
Thank you.
It is.
If you want to get involved in the show, now that we've figured out our technical difficulties, which, by the way, is a hallmark of the show and has been for the almost 2 years it's been in existence, there are ways for you to participate and get involved in our live show. The first one, as always, is you can comment on our live social media streams. We're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on the Book of Faces. And if you're watching us on one of those channels right now, you have the ability to interact. The only question is, will one of us be paying attention?
One of us
to
will,
those social
and one of
media?
us is.
There you go. I love that. I love that for you, Phil.
Absolutely.
The other way to participate in the show is to hit us up on the Weekend Warriors text line.
We own it.
That phone number is 844-668-8462.
It rolls off the tongue.
844-668-8462. A lot of fours, a lot of sixes, a lot of twos, a lot of eights.
You eventually just pound them in there and you get to our text line regardless.
Oh, I love when you pound
I'm
it in
pretty
there.
sure that's how Cardinal Art texts in.
certainly hefty lefty.
I love how you pound it in there. So
Well,
hey, anything
been a
going
week.
on in the world of sports today?
well, the world of sports, absolutely. It's been a week since we last talked, and a week entirely means that we have gone through an entire series over in the land of baseball.
That's right.
Friday, October 24th, we have a World Series, and we now know one of those participants who will be playing for the entire thing. The Los Angeles Dodgers
That's right.
have swept the pocket pancakes over there. Did I say pocket pancakes?
I like
meant
that.
the pocket wussies.
Wow.
Emphasis on the wussy.
I wouldn't say they're
What a
wussies.
throwback, pocket pancakes.
Yeah. I do like that reference. So a couple things. So since Ralph is not on the show to pretend to be the Dodger expert and to condescend and patronize everybody else who doesn't have the intimate knowledge of the Dodgers that he claims to have,
Absolutely.
I will be here as your Dodgers representative
Please.
to bring a more balanced, level-headed view in all this.
To the force.
And the first thing I have to say is, oh my gosh, what a game. This whole series has been crazy. The Brewers, as you may remember, swept the Dodgers during the regular season.
They did.
And I
Notoriously
think
so.
anybody who is anybody who follows the game of professional baseball even more than casually, you understand that when you get to the postseason, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you know who thought it mattered? The Milwaukee Brewers. And honestly, they're fans. I've seen plenty of social media posts about Brewers fans being like, we swept them in the regular season. We're going to do it again in the postseason, right? I almost feel like the Dodgers were motivated by that. We're like, you know what? We're not only going to beat you, we're going to sweep you like you swept us. I mean, probably not, right? I mean, the fact is, the Dodgers, for I would argue the first time all season, and you could argue, I mean, the entire postseason, with the exception of one game against the Phillies, the Dodgers are finally hitting on all cylinders. And what I mean by that is not just the fact that every part of their game excels. What the Dodgers do that's so amazing now is that they'll play whatever style of game you want and they'll beat you at it. You want to go offense, you want to go long ball, we got you. You want to grind it out and hit singles and doubles and bunts, we got you. Do you want to have dominating starting pitching? We got you. Our bullpen, for the most part, is actually
Trinan made an
performing pretty
appearance
well.
and didn't give it up.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
That was funny. And saying trying to give it up in the same sentence is kind of hilarious because he's the guy that he puts a cross.
He
in
puts the
mound.
Marvin Gaye and giving it up.
Yeah, he puts a cross on the mound behind him when he comes up to pitch. By the way, if you ever noticed that.
100%.
But the Dodger bullpen, a lot of the bit players like Bonda and Vesia and
Yeah.
Trinan, they're starting to look more like their postseason selves. And of course, the addition of Roki Sasaki. Now
Has been absolutely enriching for that entire team and gives them a sense of hope. I wouldn't say false, but a sense of hope that they otherwise were lacking heading certainly into the postseason.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Now they've also got a lot of good arms they haven't used yet. We haven't even seen Emmett Sheehan that much. We haven't seen Robleski that much. We've seen
Yeah.
him a little bit, like in the NLDS.
Do they
maybe
want to
against
see
the-
them?
Well, it depends on
Because
depends on the situation, right? The best case scenario always is your starting pitchers
A full
pitchers
game.
go at least 7.
Yeah, I mean that was the one takeaway from the game that Blake Snell threw is that everybody was saying why even take him off the freaking mound? They're not making contact on the bats with Blake Snell pitching a maestro like performance over there.
Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, we haven't seen the other arms. I'd say that that's to the benefit. You're here saying like, and we haven't even seen the better pitching. I'm actually arguing against that. I'm saying that it is a boon to this team that you have not seen the amount of pitchers that they've needed to throw. You see all the other teams that they're facing. All of them are throwing everything that they have at you, hoping something sticks to the wall because they are, yeah, absolutely. Making sure that everything that they have goes into having fresh pitchers with fresh advantages to try and mitigate this offense and the runs scored and produced each and every game. I mean, you're looking at this entire score for this entire sweep. Last night, 5-1. Night before that, 3-1. You go back, 5-1, 2-1. I mean, it's just they are keeping squashing the scoring output from teams while making sure that they themselves are operating on all cylinders. Certainly showcased by Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, Ohtani. Yeah, that game. Let's talk about that in a second. But I will say one thing about the Milwaukee Brewers is obviously they have the best record in baseball in the regular season. So kudos to them. The problem is they had some late injuries and they don't have as spectacular a pitching staff as maybe we thought they did. Obviously, Peralta's pretty good, but we got to him pretty quickly.
Right.
Mizorowski is
Do you
going.
have feelings about Mizorowski?
Well, I have my feelings about him personally, but I'm not going to talk about that in the air. I'm going to be a little more professional than I would be in our text chat about him.
Good.
But ultimately, I think he's got a couple of years. My concern is that you blow Miz's arm out. And I think that's why they've managed him more carefully in this postseason. That's why he went to the bullpen. He will be, if he can continue on his trajectory, will be a dominant force for the Brewers or whoever else picks him up. But ultimately, here's why. I'm going to tell you this is the real secret why the Brewers lost. Okay. You can look at all the stats and all the figures. You can do all your analysis.
Losers.
Run your fancy Python scripts and do all your
Nerds.
snowflake data cubes and whatever you want to do.
Geeks.
Here's why they lost.
Here's the real skitty.
Do you know why they lost?
Why?
It's because after they beat the Cubs in the NLDS, during their group photo, somebody dropped a Chicago's L flag.
Oh.
They were mocking the Chicago Cubs, and that's why they lost.
Sports Girly, this is something that you do not do in sports, let alone in the annals of baseball history. You do not anger the sport. Yes, you do not anger the sports gods, and you certainly, Neil, back me up on this. You do not anger the baseball gods. They are real, they are unforgiving, and they will make sure that you are 3 strikes and you're out of here because they are unforgiving and relentless in their pursuit of you respecting tradition and respecting the way that things are done around here.
You know, when I was younger, I remember something my older brother said to me growing up as Yankees fans. He goes, if you go to the Red Sox stadium wearing the Yankees cap, you're going to get killed.
It's true.
And that was very terrifying to hear as a 4-year-old little girl, but it stuck with me.
So they've effectively traumatized a generation of people.
Yes, I
Um,
respect the sports.
Yes, I think we're going to talk about East Coast baseball. That's a whole different topic.
Oh, yeah.
Topic of great
Yes.
respect and admiration, honestly. But so here's the bottom line: as a Dodger fan, okay, I say this and I'm going to be very balanced here. I'm not going to be like certain radio hosts who are so certain. By the way, I have a text on our text group,
Okay.
and I had opined.
I'm a little
At-
worried.
I had opined at one point during our conversations
Hmm.
that I thought that the Dodgers were going to sweep the Brewers,
You did?
right? And I have a text on our. I have evidence
Photographic evidence.
where Ralph Romano,
Mm.
the the baseball mind that he is, said no, emphatically no, they won't sweep. So Ralph Romano was wrong about something regarding baseball.
And he's not here to defend himself.
Well, here's the thing: it doesn't matter. All he'll do is just deny it.
Yeah.
He's the expert at gaslighting you
Mhm.
when he's done something wrong and he wants you to believe
Oh,
otherwise.
absolutely, he's the worst.
I've known him for 30 plus years. That's exactly what he does all the
I
time.
think Blissful
So-
Hayes was on this train as well as he texted the show. Good morning, Philip Neal and Sports Girly.
Sports Girly.
Did Ralph get fired like the blender? So
No, he did not.
no, he did not. Now we are under consideration for having wavering faith in his Dodgers. I mean, yes, he did predict that they would go to the World Series, so I guess he still remained true to them. But he didn't have the full bravado. He didn't have the full gravitas. And actually, though, if we are being in full honest mode here, as we are this fine Saturday morning, the Brewers surprised me in the worst of ways. That's why I called them the pocket wussies because
Why?
they have an incredibly bright future. It's a young team, cost controlled, which is incredibly important. For
Is it so bright that they have to wear shades?
It's pretty close. You know, maybe a visor. I don't know if it's that to shades level. It's
Wow.
not.
Okay.
It would take a miracle for them to get to the World Series with the juggernaut that is the Dodgers laying in front of them. However, I thought that this was a more balanced team than this was. I thought that this was a team that could pose problems for the Dodgers that simply just do not exist. This team, unfortunately, has no standouts, nothing to hang its hat on, and because of that, yes, while you may have no weaknesses, you also don't have anything impressive about you. So, yes, you're swept, you're out of here, and this is why, if I had a longer runway, I would say I don't think that champagne celebrations for winning a series in the postseason is really warranted. Because now Milwaukee gets 2 champagne things, and what are you doing? You're going home just as much as anybody. You got swept out of here by the probably inevitable World Series champions. Congratulations, you had a longer season than the Reds, but it doesn't mean that you're going anywhere and more impressive than the Reds.
I feel like that you should celebrate the moments. You should live in the moment. And if you win a series, you should be able to celebrate that. Okay, it doesn't. I mean, obviously,
That makes sense for the Brewers. That makes sense for the Reds. That makes sense for the Seattle Mariners. It doesn't make sense for a heritage program such as the Dodgers. They should elevate themselves. Now, granted, it's not like the Yankees, the Dodgers. They still endure. They still do this. But you have the Lakers right across town from you to herald you to the way, to show you the way that when the Lakers win a measly Western Conference championship, Sora, do you know what they do with that trophy? The Western Conference
LeBron
championship.
James takes a nap. That's what they do.
They do.
Oil it up.
They oil it up and then they shove it where the sun don't shine because they do not want to even think about it. They know they have a God-given destiny to get the championship that is rightfully theirs, and that's not the real championship. That's not the championship that you write home about. That's not the championship that you tell your grandkids about when they're on your knee and you're telling them around Christmas time why they're getting the little sports card that they got this Christmas. No! What they want is the real gosh darn thing. And the Brewers, they get 2 champagne waste and expenditures on their bill with nothing to show for it. A wonderful
Technically,
season,
they
I
only got
suppose.
one.
Yeah, 2 because whenever they clinch the division.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
That's the
I know.
division They got theirs. Yeah,
I know.
okay, so
That's-
2 and
that's-
3.
it's-
I forgot about that one.
I know. Everybody forgets about that one, but like if you're the Dodgers, like you're gonna get 4 champagne baths.
Well, I think
It's crazy.
we should be like the if we were like the Arizona Diamondbacks
Oh.
and we hung our wild
Have 'em
card
to Pepsi.
appearances on our banners, there
Hmm.
would be no room anywhere in the stadium for banners. So anyway, the
I know.
bottom line is, and I don't want to get into the whole Dodgers are ruining baseball salary.
We don't
cap
have to get that. That's
nonsense
a conversation
That's
for another
another
day.
topic. We can talk about that next week.
I do
potentially.
have one last thing before we move on.
Yes.
With this game, this specific game in an elimination game at home at Dodger Stadium with Shohei Ohtani, did this prove that Shohei Ohtani, without a doubt, is the greatest player of all time? Simply because if you look at his postseason record prior to the Dodgers, there was none. And beyond that, he had never pitched in the postseason before. This was the first run in the postseason. This obviously wasn't his first game, but it was the first run that he's had a chance to pitch in the postseason. So you got to see a stellar pitching performance that sequestered the entirety of the Milwaukee Brewers offensive lineup, as well as
for 6 innings.
through 6 innings. Sure, I mean, yes, it wasn't the perfect game. Whoopsie. Anyway, and then also homers twice, driving in 3 out of the 5 runs, just having an absolute gem of a night. You can't ask for much more out of the guy outside of maybe going out there and fielding. Is this proof enough? Even if they weren't to win the World Series, would this be on the top 4 things of his Wikipedia page to showcase why he was singularly the best to ever play baseball? Neil Lynch.
Arguably, last year's 50-50 performance put him in that.
That's an
category.
entirety of a season, though. So you would weigh that higher than postseason accomplishment? Because
You haven't let me finish my sentence.
I'm sorry.
You're busy being radio guy over here.
Okay.
Calm down. Does he like this all the time at home? Good
Yes,
grief.
I love it.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm surrounded. Anyway, so I would argue that if you're talking about his place in history as being the greatest player to ever play the game, obviously it's an incredibly huge honor to be put in that, to be mentioned in the same breath as a Babe Ruth or whoever else, right?
Barry Bonds.
Yes. I think his 50-50 game last year arguably started the conversation about the best player of all time. I think that his performance last night absolutely cemented that. There is no question in my mind that Shohei Ohtani is the greatest baseball player in the history of the game. So, and there really at this point is no argument. And here's the thing: he's probably in his prime right now. He's like Doc Holliday. He's like, I'm in my prime without the tuberculosis, by the way. So I think that
Those are days.
yes, right. I think yes. I think this cements his legacy. I do say this though, before we get off the topic here, and I do not want to be remiss to not mention the Mariners last night and that exciting game yesterday.
Yeah.
They're down 2-1. It looks like this is going to be just like the last 2 games where they just kind of just lost energy and lost momentum. Cal Raleigh gets a key home run to tie the game, and then bases loaded. Former Arizona Diamondback, Eugenio Suarez, gets up there and hits a grand slam to put the Mariners up 6-2 and eventually win the game. I cannot even imagine how insane T-Mobile Park was after that happened.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
unbelievable.
I think they're still shouting to the heavens right now.
I think the USGS probably thought there was an earthquake somewhere in the Seattle area when that happened. It was unbelievable. I'm so happy for the Mariners. Statistically on paper, I don't think it matters who the Dodgers play. And I know that sounds super arrogant.
It is.
You still have to play the games though, right? Statistically on paper, I don't see how the Dodgers can lose. But then again, the baseball gods, as we've talked about before, they smile upon some and frown on others, and you never know, right? So anything can happen. So I don't care who makes the postseason on the other side, but I really want it to be the Mariners because I like the Mariners. And it'd be fun to see them get into their first one. Can you imagine if they actually pulled off the upset of the mighty Dodgers? Can you imagine that? That would be unbelievable.
It would certainly make more news locally, that's for sure. Or I guess even nationally, because if we go to a Toronto Blue Jays, I would argue, and this is the same guy who argued that the Milwaukee Brewers would be the tougher team for the Dodgers to face. I guess we'll never know. They could have easily swept the Cubs too. Who would know? Maybe they got a game. I don't know. Well, it's a series we'll never know.
Right.
But that being said, I feel like the Dodgers would fear facing a fully rested, fully geared up, ready for it Toronto Blue Jays team more than the Seattle Mariners, the plucky Seattle Mariners with an MVP on the roster playing the part of catcher who has never had a passed by Pat.
He had one.
He had one in the
He had one
postseason for
finally.
the entire season.
Finally.
Yeah, it's incredible.
In his career.
Oh, in his career, I actually didn't know. I thought, yeah.
That was it's crazy.
I think that the Toronto Blue Jays would pose the bigger threat. I think the national story would be, because then it becomes nationally, who do you hate less? Do you hate the Dodgers? Because you're a Dodgers fan, so you have to understand that what the sentiment is
Oh,
nationally.
I get it. I understand now, yes.
Versus America. And Toronto Blue Jays certainly would be an outside force that you wonder. And, Vlad Guerrero is certainly a
Love him.
yeah, you got to love him
Absolutely love him.
and how much joy he brings to the game of baseball. So I think maybe they would be more endearing, I suppose. But the Seattle Mariners, as plucky as they are, as fun as they are, and as much as I've touted before, that if you are an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, you're essentially rooting for the Seattle Mariners as they have half the team that you started out with.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't begrudge them whatsoever, because most, and I say this being very general, okay, so I hope that not everybody feels I'm talking about them, but in general, the majority of Arizona Diamondbacks fans, aside from being fans of their team, they're also anti-Dodgers fans. So they absolutely will cheer for anybody who's playing the Dodgers.
Certainly.
They're like,
hashtag
they're
Hate
like-
LA.
they're like, oh, I like the Packers and anybody who's playing the Chicago Bears, right? Like that kind of person. So I expect nothing less from them. And so to me, that's the mark of a miserable franchise. It really is. All the franchises that feel that way, they're miserable. I'm sure that a lot of them now are losing their minds that the Dodgers are winning. I actually heard fireworks in my neighborhood last night when the Dodgers won that game.
I'm sure
So,
you did. You got
I'm
your-
telling you, man, there's a lot of Dodger fans here in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately, the Arizona Diamondbacks fans, they're going to be cheering for the right. And they should, because obviously Naylor and Suarez are fantastic players, and it's too bad they had to leave. But ultimately, I mean, like I said, I just want the Mariners, and I think the Dodgers-Mariners is a great series. But I do agree that the Blue Jays present their own problems. And I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of, if they do make the World Series, there's going to be a lot of Arizonans who are going to learn the Canadian national anthem. Oh, Canada.
Your syrup drips on
native
thee.
land. True page. Okay, never mind.
Seattle up 3-2 in that series. Of course, the World Series starts this Friday, so we will have full coverage of at least a game one heading into next week's rendition of the Weekend Warriors. But we are talking about winners thus far to start out the show. Let's talk about one person who the stigma of losing the big game, and ironically, did not get fired for losing the big game. Got fired because he lost two inconsequential games, two gimmies in a row. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't Oregon, and it wasn't UCLA, which
Are we shifting
heavens
to
to
college
us,
football?
we are
now?
certainly shifting over to college
I'm
football
so excited.
because Northwestern and beating the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Did you not know what that was?
You know what? It's taken a while to get
Nittany
my
Lions.
yeah. Nittany. It's harder to say.
Just say Nittany.
Nittany.
Ninny.
Those
Wow.
Nittany Lions.
Those Nittany Lions.
James Franklin
That's a
is
great
fired. Is the second biggest buyout in college. One thinks that these are probably going to go up, but I digress. Guys, it is because of where the state of college football is right now, where we find ourselves in this. And dare I argue, as we just briefly touch on this, because I realize I'm probably the only one who at least has a wandering interest in this. I think that Penn State firing James Franklin is just absolutely asinine for a multitude
Why
of
do you
reasons.
think that?
$49 million that's going towards buying somebody else to not coach for you, as opposed to even the players that you have, is ludicrous to me. Doing it in the middle of a college football season is, I think, even more absurd. Because here's the thing. First of all, you're Penn State. I don't know that you can do better. Everybody says to me that it's a heritage program. Everybody tells me that it's a legacy program. Show me the facts. Outside of Joe Paterno, I
Well,
don't.
that's why it's a legacy.
That's
program.
why it's a legacy program,
Right.
just because of one legendary coach.
and
One.
the run that the team had under his tutelage. Obviously, it was blighted mightily. By
Certainly
events that
tainted by
happened
the
near
end.
Yes.
Yes.
No
But
pun intended.
No, none whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. But just because it's supposedly a heritage program, I sincerely don't know how you're going to go better than James Franklin. James Franklin is going to find himself a coaching job in college football. And I'll tell you what, he is a program builder. He is a culture changer. And yes, you cannot win the big one. Guess what? Out of all those schools in the entirety of the nation, only one gets to win the championship. So just because you don't win the big game, I get it. At least you're getting to the dance. At least you're getting to go and drink some punch. Like, I don't get it. James Franklin making $50 million to just sit at his couch and sit at home is absolutely ludicrous and absurd to me.
Yes, go ahead. Really sorry.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of see this firing as inevitable. Their season just kind of flipped. They were playoff hopefuls, and then they're inconsistent in execution. That you can't really survive that kind of credibility loss, especially when it comes to recruiting for a college team. And
Yeah.
you guys talk about legacy, but wins matter more than legacy.
Well, here's this is a highlight of a trend happening in sports now. Just with all the money that's going into college sports now, thanks to NIL and frankly private equity getting involved in a lot of sports, a lot of college
Yeah.
organizations.
Jimmy's Tire Shop now finally gets to legally go ahead and
There
give
is-
money handshakes.
Right. There is a win now mentality that is infecting college football.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of stuff you see at the NFL level. And it's already
Yeah.
happened this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, this to me is just one more point of a disturbing trend, in my opinion,
Yeah.
about, so from that perspective, I agree with you that it's ridiculous. Now, as far as James Franklin as a head coach, I mean, all they had to do was replace him with Keegan Michael Key, and literally nobody would know the difference. He would have just been up there. He probably would have been a better coach.
Yeah, if anybody's mourning this more than James Franklin and family and associates who get to enjoy that success as well, it is Keegan Michael Key, because now he no longer has like a homecoming availability over there at Penn State.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I do think it's nuts. I think the notion of not giving him the chance to play it out. And here's the thing: there has to be some other reason. You don't just walk away from $48 million on a whim. There's a lot of explaining to do, Lucy, when it comes to your board of regents at your university or your boosters, right? You got to have look. We're just going to walk away from $48 million. No big whoop. Like there had to be something really bad that happened. Something else.
I'm so excited to see, as much as I think I support this move. I'm just so curious to know that how Penn State is going to gain back this money that they've lost, and what kind of coach they're going to have next, and is this going to end up being worth it, because it is an insane amount of money. And I'm excited to see their next move.
Well, you know what they probably did. Here's what probably happened, because this is how the world works, sadly, is that there was probably pressure somewhere, not sure where, somewhere, to get rid of him. And as part of that pressure, somebody probably said, if you get rid of Mr. Franklin, there's going to be a big pile of money that we're going to put into the program that'll help with dealing with some of these other issues, right? I guarantee that kind of stuff happens all the time in college sports. And I guarantee this, or I shouldn't say guarantee, but I highly suspect that's part of what happened here. When they cut him like that, with that amount of money, they probably already knew it was going to get covered in some way, shape, or form.
And right now, the rumor that's swirling around that people are sausage linking to connect the dots.
Sausage link.
Don't you love it?
Sausages.
Is that apparently Matt Rule over there in oh gosh, is he Wisconsin or Nebraska? I always get it mixed up. Anyways, Matt Rule of former Panthers infamy is supposedly linked to this Penn State job. I'll be honest, I prefer James Franklin over him. Like James Franklin, again, I cannot understate just how important it is that just because he has the stain and also the resume that suggests that he does not win the big game. I'm sorry. You have brought Penn State back from its deepest, darkest point in history. Something that a lot of people thought deserved the quote unquote death penalty of just like you no longer own a football program.
Right.
Like it came back from there to where last year he was on the precipice of at least a championship appearance. And yes, did he have the easiest pathway to that? I guess. Yes, he got to face Boise and Iowa. I get it. But that being said,
Bucky Tucker University.
that being said, I would have more faith in James Franklin, especially at that money, than not. All right. And then lastly, before we leave college football, of course, the one that everybody was supposedly wanting Penn State to have, the head coach of number 3, currently ranked Indiana, does sign an extension for an 8-year, $93 million contract for coach Curt Cignetti. Just worth mentioning as now probably, go make your money.
Congratulations. You got your bag, buddy. Nice job.
Yes, Hoosiers.
Indiana is finally relevant in football.
And number 3 in the nation.
That's pretty crazy.
That is incredible.
As a casual follower of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, given that my oldest child graduated from there, this is not good news, because the Big Ten, or the Big 50, or whatever the conference is now these days, the Big Ten conference is loaded with a lot of great teams, and now having Indiana in there, it's just like, ugh, again. So, I used to look forward to those cream puff games when Minnesota would steal one from Indiana. Not anymore, kids.
No mas.
Although Minnesota had a great win against Nebraska on Friday.
They did,
They
yes.
did, yeah. So good for them.
Yeah.
Scotty Umana.
I always wonder though, if you're ranked number 25, you're hanging on by a thread anyways, as far as being ranked. I always wonder if storming the field as an unranked team when it's like it could be close, whether or not that's justified at number 25. Like if you made a top 5 program and you're unranked, oh heavens to Betsy.
You are all about pedigree and stuff. Look at
Yeah,
you. Look, Minnesota and Nebraska have a big rivalry just because of their proximity. They play each other all the time.
I guess you get a bit of both.
Of course, you're going to storm the field. I don't care if you're number 1 in the country and they're number 99 in the country. You beat them. It's like when Minnesota beats Wisconsin. They play for Paul Bunyan's axe. Okay,
Man, you have to really emphasize the word axe.
Axe,
because Paul Bunyan. Otherwise, you can kiss it.
Wow, you're not from the Midwest, clearly.
I'm not.
Anyway, Paul Bunyan's axe is the talisman or the trophy they play for that game. And I don't care what the record is in either case. If Minnesota beats Wisconsin, they're storming the field because they got the axe.
They got the axe, and they are willing to grind. Speaking of the grind,
Wow.
let's go to grinding on the gridiron with the games of last week. Of course, we transition over to football. And before we even get to the games of last week, but it seems to be the only appropriate way to get into it, we do have news that broke this week that seems a little more pertinent and affects the games of last week and also a cause from last week's games.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Titans fire their head coach a game late because the Cardinals let him stick around.
The Tennessee Tuxedos.
Yes, absolutely. The Titans now no longer have a head coach. They have an interim head coach. I don't know that this does much. In fact, Brian Callahan losing his job to a lot of sports bettors, myself included, actually feels like a reprieve, as he was horrible in real life coaching and in game situational coaching that we all get to have from our couch without any real
What do you
repercussions.
mean by real life coaching?
Real life coaching is
Is he
for
like a life coach?
Yeah.
Do you like have like a
mentorship.
podcast?
Yeah, there was a bunch of
Did he
teams
have-
on the
did he
side.
have a
who-
webinar? Did he have a master class that you signed up for and were disappointed? Like what happened?
It was a bit of both. It was a bit of both. And you know,
That's
that
weird.
$20 subscription is now going to the Tennessee program as an entirety.
Wow.
So yes, Titans fire a head coach. And the only other thing I want to say is that it is surprising that it wasn't Mike McDaniels of the Miami Dolphins. That
Oh,
feels
you didn't hear all the tea from Tua?
no, I did not hear the tea.
Oh,
from
what's
Tua.
listen, sports girly. If anybody's gonna spill the tea, it's you. So let's hear the Tua
Tua
tea.
gets to the press conference after the Dolphins game, and he lets everyone know that a lot of players weren't showing up to players-only meeting, and that they just weren't showing up and weren't participating. And he kind of just taking the blame off himself and off of Mike McDaniels. And I was just like, all right, that's kind of cool, because I was also kind of like, yeah, let's fire the coach. And then I'm thinking, like, he just aired out their laundry for everyone to hear.
And
Well, that might be the CTE talking, to be honest.
That might be the CTE. But
Every
also, I mean,
time.
like, you know, as a quarterback, you're just out there blaming your teammates.
That's not a good look.
That's such a bad. It was my first impression was, yeah, don't fire the coach, and my second impression is just that's a bad look. You guys need to work on your stuff internally instead of bringing it out there for the whole press to see.
So what you're saying is Tua's not a girl boss.
No,
Okay,
he is not a girl's girl.
I like
Tua,
that.
You
Not
are
a-
not a sports girly.
Not a. I love that. We're gonna add that
He
to
can- yeah.
the show.
he can never be approached on that. But also, it was reinforced by Mike McDaniels himself coming out the next day. So now they're having a game of telephone live with us as the audience. By the next day, coming out and saying, well, it wasn't really players only meetings that they weren't having. It was more so a players generated film review. So like we're getting into the semantics of it. It all just boils down to it's just a burning building and
Yeah.
everybody's trying to get them and theirs out first
Yes.
and trying to offload and say, you know what, he should be stuck holding the bag. He should be stuck holding the bag. I think what we all understand here is, unfortunately, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, which a couple of bitter Dolphins fans right now are enjoying the presence of somebody who's also trying to offload the blame to others.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, anyways, if you are a Dolphins fan right now, I think what is the most horrifying of all things is that Tua's contract has yet to kick in. Kicks in next season, so you're stuck with him. Like, trust me, as a Russell Wilson contract holder for my Broncos, that is holding them back still to
Broncos-
this day.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
We are still paying off Russell Wilson in that quarterback mistake that we had. Trust me when I say you cannot take him and his contract out until at least following next season. So you're stuck with him for one more season. So he's not going anywhere. But who is going is Mike McDaniels, simply because he needs somebody. Something has to change. It has to be unacceptable. What is considered the laughing stock of the entire NFL right now. And that's being said in light of an 0-5 team in the New York Jets, who just had the worst loss in international waters I've seen in quite some time, if ever. My goodness gracious. And yet, and still, the Miami Dolphins are the ones that you can laugh about in saying that they have a weird fin back there. And then also their GM, longest tenured GM without a playoff appearance. It is bad news. It stinks to high heaven. And I don't think it's the fish. I think it's the Dolphins stinking from the head down. It is very bad. And it's surprising that they do not have their first head coach fired. At this point, it just feels like they are committing to being bad, trying to make it worse so that way they get a better pick. Problem is for the bad teams that all seem to congregate into the AFC right now. The problem is that I think that they are going to be all fighting and contending for what was, if we look back at the 0-16 Browns, who prior to getting Baker Mayfield, everybody thinks that it was the 0-16 Browns that got Baker Mayfield. No. They were
contraire.
It was the 1-15 Browns that got Baker Mayfield, because the following year prior to that, I actually even forget who they. Oh yeah, that was the Myles Garrett year. They got Myles Garrett as an 0-16 team, winless team, horrible, and they got Myles Garrett, proven to be a great pick. However, there was not a quarterback available for them. This year, as you've seen in across college football, I don't see a quarterback there to be taken at number one. I don't see a quarterback there that's a franchise savior.
But here's the challenge, though.
Mm.
We've seen, and with Callahan's firing in particular, we've seen that it doesn't matter, because the last 4 teams that drafted a number 1 quarterback overall in the draft, you're talking about Cam Ward, you're talking about Caleb Williams, you're talking about Bryce Young, you're talking about Trevor Lawrence. The last 4 that have done that, their head coaches got fired in their rookie season. So it's not even a guarantee of anything. If anything, all it does is just hide the fact that you probably should have got rid of him anyway. So I don't know, man.
Exactly. That's freaking right on the point. Absolutely. Why are you bringing in? Why are you bringing in the guy who has already brought in a culture of losing? Like, is it his fault? Is it his problem? Maybe it's unfair. I do not care. Do not bring him in unless you got Andy freaking Reid over there, who's just a proven head coach. Unless you got Sean McVay, somebody who you trust, that you are bringing in, and they just got saddled with a horrible situation, and you have all the tenure and all the gravitas associated with them. Do not saddle your number 1 overall quarterback with a coach that starts out on the hot seat. You are setting themselves up for failure, and you yourselves are being set up for failure, because now they have to learn within the first 2 years at least 2 offensive systems, if not 3, because they have an interim head coach who's probably going to change things. So absolutely absurd.
So what you're saying to me, though, what I'm hearing is that these coaches are all gatekeeping.
Wow.
So you got girl bossing, you got gatekeeping.
It's certainly.
Next, we're going to go with gangrening, but that's a whole different.
Well, that's New York Jets, and that's for as long as they don't win a game. Which is, what's crazy about that still is that we are now in uncharted territory as far as the New York Jets. No New York Jets head coach has started out his tenure with as much of a losing streak as Aaron Glenn has. And that's absurd for me, for thinking going into this year that he was a better coach. He might be just a better special defensive coordinator than he is head coach, particularly with how he handled the Aaron Rodgers firing, for all intents and purposes, making Aaron Rodgers
weird.
It was a weird thing at the time. If you remember, Sports Girly, he at the time called forth Aaron Rodgers from his humble abode, from his humble hole in the ground.
Yeah, from his little blind
ayahuasca retreat,
whatever,
and said, "Come on up to New York. Let's talk about the state of the organization." Aaron Rodgers, on his own dime, which he has plenty of, but still on his own dime, goes up to New York for I think there was rumored like 11-minute conversation that was essentially boiling down to, "Yeah, we're sorry, but we got to part ways." Now, granted,
talk about this could have been an email.
It could have been an email, could have been a Zoom call, could have been a phone call. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers notoriously has said in the past of the Packers, of which, Neil, I'm sure you're familiar, everybody knows that you got to call me at my super secret number or whatever. You remember when he said this, that the GM never gave him information because everybody knows you FaceTime me. You don't call me or something. It was just absolute
something really
prime,
self-centered,
passive-aggressive Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
I grant you that maybe just giving it to him face-to-face was something fun and for you to do and to really send a message to the rest of your team. It still was a weird choice to have as your number 1 executive decision as head coach, fresh head coach, first-time head coach. It was very odd. And Aaron Glenn now holds the reign as the worst starting out head coach in Jets history, which is very much storied for all the wrong reasons already.
Right.
My goodness. All right. All that being said, that was the preamble. We haven't even gotten to the games of last week. Let's get to it. All right. So we start out with Broncos at Jets. Anybody want to talk about this game?
No.
Anybody desire to
The
talk?
fact that I can't stand the London game. Sorry, go
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched a single Jets game this season. I just realized that as you were talking about them, and I think it's because I don't hate myself.
ahead. Well, they were held to. I mean, the Jets were held to a total of 82 yards,
Negative
minus 10
passing yards.
yet passing.
Wow.
The
Negative pass.
The Broncos got 9 sacks.
Oh god.
The Broncos gave good sacks that game.
Oh god.
My only takeaway from this, and it's not a good one, is my Broncos. I'm incredibly worried about Bo Nix. Yeah, Bo Nix,
Why?
Ralph
It's a fun
Romano.
game.
Ralph Romano has the utmost faith in Bo Nix. I was questionable heading in, coming off of last season. I was optimistic. Now we're seeing a lot of the things that were wrong in year one not having gotten fixed. And that is with an offensive wonderkin over there in Sean Payton heading the helm. And Bo Nix is a coach's son through and through. And I do not see any of the problems remedied or rectified. I do not see them solved. I see a lot of the maladies still affecting and afflicting his game. It is very much concerning as a Broncos person that, yes, as a Broncos fan, that as the Broncos offense has gone, so too have their results. Because when he's tremendous in the second half, solo against the Philadelphia Eagles, finally showcasing the underselling of the team that is the Philadelphia Eagles, and we can get into that later. They have a great result. And then here, they all but tried to give the game away. It's absurd. All this to say, I don't want to talk about it because I'd rather just say we got the win.
Kind of just did.
No, he doesn't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about it,
He
Neil.
doesn't want to talk about things.
Neil, I'm saying that I don't want to talk about it while saying why I don't want to talk about it. Okay,
Oh wow.
Neil.
Am I in the middle of something here?
Neil, I don't want to talk
Do
about
I
it.
need to go? Do I need to leave the room? What the
Do you
heck's
need to go
going
to
on?
London?
Were there any other games last week?
There were a
Thank
couple,
God.
yes,
Thank
indeed,
you.
yes.
Thank you, Sports Girl.
Welcome.
Yeah, we
Getting
move.
us out of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. We move over to
Seattle, Jacksonville.
Seattle, Jacksonville, indeed. Now, I hate this
Why? do you
because
hate
I
this?
have to proclaim something
Oh my God.
that
here we
I
go.
never like saying,
That Ralph was right.
and I was wrong. Which is worse? Which is worse? I was wrong or Ralph was right? Neil.
I feel
Because
like they're. I
Ralph
feel like.
was right.
I feel like they're equally bad because Ralph he doesn't let you forget.
no, he's gonna lord this over me.
Which I mean, I would do the same thing honestly. So
Oh,
I don't.
who
I
amongst
can't,
us would?
I can't really judge him.
Any
for that, for
self-respecting
sure.
person. Yeah, absolutely.
Any self-respecting.
Seattle Seahawks looked great. Seattle Seahawks looked good. I mean, granted, you're facing Trevor Lawrence, who Trevor Lawrence is
Just Coley.
just.
I love him. He is so he makes impressive plays in spite of himself, and he did that the last 2 weeks, and it's just so funny to watch because like he's supposed to be so bad, but then it just keeps working out for him. I don't know what God he prays to, but I want to get on that religion.
He's a galloping mare where he's just so wild and so young and so flowy. And every once in a while, and you'll see him stumble twice and then still somehow find the end zone. He's just,
He's a
Yeah.
hot mess, but he's more hot than he is a mess.
well, I can't speak.
Well, not hot. Okay.
The Jaguars.
Set yourself up for that one.
The Jaguars defense looks tremendous. Seattle Seahawks defense, it looks like it's improving with, at least you can attribute that to health. You
Right.
can see where the holes in the defense are, and that is solely attributed to health. And look, Sam Darnold is making putty out of pancakes, you know? I don't even know what to say, but he is, that offensive line in front of him is bad. You can see every time that he gets a little bit of pressure that he's actually adjusting. He's actually now moving and making
Yes,
sure
he
that
is.
he at least gets it to Jackson Smith and Jigba, who that connection is ungodly.
It's
That is, they are
incredible.
getting married each and every game and getting by on at least
You're getting
one.
married, huh? That's a-
Each and every
that's a
time
lot.
they are just in holy sanctimony upon God's field each and every week because they are linking up
I see.
for a 50-yard game once each game. It's incredible.
It's so refreshing to see Sam Darnold playing the way the Vikings thought he was going to be playing, and now I'm just like, Ralph has always been a Sam Darnold fan, and to see Sam Darnold actually perform like that, I'm like, all right, I kind of get it. As much as I don't want to root for the Seahawks, just because, like, I get it. Sam Darnold is back in his groove.
Sam
He's getting
Darnold.
there.
Is he back in the New York groove? Rest in peace, Ace Frehley.
Yeah, so well, he left New York. That is for sure. Let's go to the Cowboys versus Panthers.
So that was a mess of a game.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think,
No, I don't. But if you hum a few bars, I might know what you're talking about.
Rico Dowdle warned the Cowboys to buckle up, formerly of the Cowboys, and certainly knew a bunch of people. And according to everybody from the organization, lovely guy. You hate to see him go, but you go do.
You hate to see it.
First undrafted player to score in successive weeks 200 yards from scrimmage in 2 weeks in a 2-week span. Go Rico Dowdle. But I think that this speaks more to not even the Cowboys. Panthers are a real team, guys. Panthers are a real team.
They are real enough to beat the Cowboys, which I don't know if that says more about the Panthers or more about the Cowboys.
Panthers are a real team at home, is where I'm
At
going.
home, yeah.
Yeah, because at home they've got
True.
some impressive wins. They're looking feisty over there at 3-3. And honestly, and this might be an overall theme that we can talk about here. I couldn't tell you who's good in the NFL. Like, I have strong inclinations. I have strong thoughts on who I think it could be. I can't really prove it.
I don't think there's any dominant team, unless if you're a fan of that team, you're like, I mean, yeah, there's no dominant. But statistically speaking, just like you said, just kind of a gut check. I agree with you.
Like, I
There
think
are
that the
some
Rams
real-
are great. What name like?
Are they the best team? No.
No.
But there are, on the flip side, there are some really horrifically awful teams out there.
Well, I think the Cowboys need to do better at retaining their players, because there's this pattern that when they let a player go and the player comes back to play, it just doesn't look good on the Cowboys. I'm thinking Michael Parsons and Rico Dowdle. They're come back and they're there for a vengeance.
That's
you can
true.
See it. You can feel it. You can feel the spite.
Yeah, I mean, I
As a
wonder.
Jerry Jones fan, I'm sure you don't relate to this.
Oh yeah, no, I love me some Jerry. Like, Jerry is that grandpa and that grandfather that was of your best friend or your friend, and who you thought you loved him. You loved that grandparent, but you dreaded the thought, the mere just existence of an idea that they could possibly be your own. Where you're like, I love this guy, but he is so unhinged.
That's
I
someone
would
else's
not.
grandpa.
Yeah, that I do not want that on to have to deal with each and every day and every week.
So I'd like to air some grievance here. I feel like we should do a segment airing of the grievances.
Please.
It's kind of like a really grinds my gears kind of thing.
Ooh.
Let me just say something here, and this is related directly to the Cowboys. So last week, I did something I don't do that often.
Okay.
Is I've been dabbling with sports betting
Ooh.
for the last couple of months, years, ever since sports betting became legal.
I wondered why the
Arizona.
Cadillac was parked outside of Ross.
Oh, well, clearly it's not mine because I'm not doing well. But let me tell you. So I tend to bet in very small increments. I don't do a ton, but I had a $5 8-leg parlay last week. Okay. 8 legs. Here are the 7 legs that I got. I picked, and this is all money lines. This was not odds. This was money line. I picked the Packers. I picked the Bucks.
Ching,
I picked the Seahawks.
ching,
I picked the San Diego Superchargers.
ching.
I
Los
picked-
Angeles.
I picked the Patriots.
Ching,
I picked the Lambs.
ching,
I picked the Colts.
ching.
Guess which team let me down in the last couple of seconds on a last second field goal? Guess which team?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I am never betting on the Cowboys the rest of the season. I don't care if they're the only game happening that day. I don't care if they have a 300-point spread on the opponent. I ain't betting on them. If I do, I'll bet the under on it because my goodness, that just broke my heart. I'm never touching them again.
Bet-
So I am bitter at Jerry Jones. I'm bitter at the organization. I'm bitter at Dak Prescott. I'm bitter at CeeDee Lamb. Heck, I'm was Avery their kicker or Aubrey their
Aubrey,
kicker.
yeah.
I'm bitter at him too. I don't care. They're out. Done with them. You're dead to me.
Better bitterness is a real thing. Better bitterness.
Stop looking at me when you say that.
Believe it or not,
As an avid sports bettor and a terrible sports bettor, never bet on the Cowboys. too unpredictable.
I have learned my lesson, Sports Girly. Thank
Yep.
you for that.
Now,
advice.
one of those ones that you correctly predicted over there was the Colts. That's one leg of your parlay that cashed. However, I think the most surprising thing out of that game between the Cardinals and the Colts, guys, do we have a quarterback controversy? Sports
Oh
Girly?
my
Oh.
goodness. I was watching that game and I'm like, this is by far Kyler Murray's best performance all season.
And then you said, wait a
Because
minute,
he's on the sideline.
he looks really tall. Oh,
No,
even better.
Because he's on the sideline.
Do you have the clip queued up? The other one, the funny looking one. Do you remember which one that is? Hang on. Do it again. That's our clip about Kyler Murray. Yep. The little guy's funny looking. I agree. I want there to be a quarterback controversy. Honestly, I don't think even Cardinals fans would say it's a controversy. They would say
Oh no!
bench Kyler
Talking
Murray.
to
I think
Cardinals fans, they are angry and embarrassed. Those are the adjectives that I've been hearing from Cardinals fans. And seeing Brissett play, it was just incredible.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I think the offseason was spent practicing with him and not Kyler Murray because the chemistry he has with the team, the confidence he has, it's just giving starting quarterback.
Okay.
And
I like this.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. There is no controversy because
no, there's no controversy.
they
The
want
Cardinals fans hate him. There's
Yeah.
no controversy.
they want Brissett. So there you go. So
I-
The play action, the NASCAR moves, just everything. He had the chemistry with the team. It's like it was so natural there. It was so great, and it's like it's giving hope for the Cardinals, which is so major.
like it.
I would be intrigued to
Would you
see
be?
whether or not they heighten, pardon the pun, if they heighten
Wah, wah.
the importance of Kyler Murray's injury. If he could play this week and say, Kyler, take a load off.
You're kind of looking shorter today.
You know what? You're too injured this
You were
week.
5'9", now you're 5'6".
We don't.
Hit the
This
bricks, kid.
week we've got it. Jacoby, he's got it. Just wait one more week. We want to see what we got because I think we're all like this is not a Tua situation. You are in a completely movable situation for Kyler Murray this offseason. I think for a lot of people, Jonathan Cannon is all but already fired, just depending on if the results go as we believe that they are, because I don't think any of us buy that they're going to be a playoff team. I don't think anybody wants to take that train. No. All right. So if they're not, I think Jonathan Cannon's out the door. Kyler Murray is frustratingly a top 16 quarterback who plays just
Top
willing
16 of what? High school?
Wow.
Actually, high school. He has an incredible record.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, incredible record in
But
high
he's in
school
the
and college.
NFL now.
He is. He certainly is. I wonder whether or not if Jacoby Brissett continues on where he is, if they just choose to highlight him and maybe get a few wins, and also maybe possibly you go look at like another team like the Bengals who gave up. We'll talk about them later, but gave up real draft day capital for a Joe Flacco who was a starter for another team. Jacoby Brissett, he could definitely garner you something real. I mean, maybe even a 4th round pick within the season. And then you can go back to Kyler Murray and then just tank the rest of the year and see what you can find either in the draft or in the offseason moves
What I saw during that game was a starting quarterback.
with Jacoby Brissett
Yes.
in terms of
Yeah.
Jacoby.
And this week, well, I don't want to talk about this coming week's games just yet, but I don't know how. I mean, it's going to be an interesting test against the Packers because I think the Packers.
That's a real defense.
The Packers are pretty much going to whip them, but I think it'd be curious to see how Brissett does against that team. And even if they lose the game, I still think there's a lot of upside for Brissett to prove himself to be the starting quarterback going forward.
Because I felt like the Colts won this game in a hard fought battle. That was not
Oh, yes.
Colts made it unnecessarily close. No, that kind of felt like they were playing to their level. The Cardinals were certainly playing with renewed energy on defense, feeling like
Vigor.
The
they
Cardinals lost, but it was such a good loss. It was a good game. It
No,
was.
that's true. There are such a thing as good losses and bad wins.
Yeah.
They are such. My Broncos, horrible win, awful win. That is just a win that you only have the win to soothe your aching sores and muscles. No, and then this the aching sores and the muscles. Absolutely. So I'm just saying, Jacoby Brissett, we might be onto something because that is a professional backup. I mean, he
Yes.
certainly has earned his insurance backup claim. Him and Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito wishes that he could be Jacoby Brissett because Jacoby Brissett, he's done a few things in this league, guys.
I miss Tommy Cutlets.
Oh, Tommy Cutlets.
How
I
about
missed
them
it. Tommy
Colts?
Cutlets.
Colts. What are they? 5-1 now?
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
of the league.
I had them missing the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know
We're
if
all.
anyone saw that coming. Jonathan Taylor during that game, he reminded me of Derrick Henry, but last season Derrick Henry. I cannot emphasize that enough. Last season Derrick Henry, with the way he slips through, the way he carried the plays, the way he runs the ball, the rushing touchdowns. I was like, I don't know. It was just giving like last season Derrick Henry. I was thoroughly impressed with how the Colts performed.
Jonathan Taylor is one of those rare, because Derrick Henry is a one of one as far as physical imposement, right? Like he towers above even football players. Jonathan Taylor, his style is similar to Derrick Henry in that he is very physical, very imposing. He has a bunch of juke and grace and agility to his game as well. Don't get him wrong, and skill that he can certainly employ and wiggle and find a hole. But he's not afraid to, on a 3rd and 1, just give the ball to Jonathan Taylor and he'll himself push the ball forward. And while I think that he is the true offensive engine that gets this entire thing going, because he has returned to, if you remember in fantasy a few years ago, he was the consensus #1 top overall pick because you knew that this was in him, that this potential, this offensive productivity was in him. He is enough of an offensive engine unto himself that he can make the entirety go through him offensively wise. I do wonder whether or not Daniel Jones is living now off of borrowed time, because we've seen with time and defenses weeks to adjust to what he's doing now, and Shane Steichen not able to drawing up fresh new plays that nobody's ever seen before for Daniel Jones specifically. I wonder if we are nearing, as in the end of October comes here. I wonder if we are nearing pumpkin time for Daniel Jones. I'm wondering if that little Cinderella pumpkin turns into just a squashed up little spoiled pumpkin, because Daniel Jones has slowly gotten a little worse. Like we had a fine performance, but he had 2 picks, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the Colts can afford that just the tiniest bit. If you're analyzing Daniel Jones's playing, he can afford it because the rest of the offense and the defense, they are just so incredible. But also, I think I just miss Derrick Henry. R.I.P. Ravens.
I mean, he's the one who's not injured, sweetie pie.
I know. And he's playing like he is.
He is. He's fumbling a lot. All right, guys. I think we should do one quick one before we head out on the road here.
Wait, we're heading the road. We're not leaving.
Well, we're not leaving, but we're leaving. Some of us are leaving for the bathroom.
Oh, you're talking about the top of the hour break.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Okay.
while we have about a minute and a half here, let's make it quick, or at least maybe on one side of it. Since we got Bengals versus Packers as one of the games that we talked about from last week. Of course, the Bengals, we can take that. We can wait until we talk about the game that just happened here on Thursday night. But at least for the Packers side, Neil, the Packers came back from a bye. Did you like what you see out of the
I felt like they should have been more competitive. And I'm not going to confess, I didn't watch the game that much, if at all.
I mean, you
I'm
kind of
still
banked in the win, right? Like it would have been
I'm still-
horrific.
I'm still in baseball mode. I know this they didn't cover.
No, they didn't.
So I feel like they underachieved. I feel like that the Packers are a little more Jekyll and Hyde-ish than I'd like this year. I don't feel like we don't have the strong consistency that I want to see, because they go out and they have these awesome games and then they lose to the Browns and then they lose to the Bungles, or they almost lose to the Bungles. So they make the Bungles game a lot closer than it should be. So anyway, I'm concerned about the Packers a little bit. Enough to where I don't think they're going to win the division. No, I'm concerned.
I'm concerned because they have not looked nearly as good as they had been going into the week 1 against the Lions, and the Lions haven't looked all that tremendous.
Yeah.
You concerned about the Packers there, Sports Girly?
For next week?
Well, just in general. Jordan Love do anything for you? I mean, I know the coach does a little something for you for the Packers.
Oh yeah.
Matt LaFleur does a lot for a lot of women.
Yeah.
And men. And men.
And man,
He's adorable.
I
No, not concerned about the Packers. They seem pretty solid this year.
Next
Yeah.
week, I mean, this week they're going to destroy.
Less
the
concerned
Cardinals.
about the Bengals too. I mean, seeing how Joe Flacco plays, it's not too bad. I mean, basically their theme for their quarterback should just be anyone but Jake Browning.
anybody but Jake Browning. Speaking of a Browning, I'm about to go to take a bathroom break.
God, Philip.
There we go. Next hour coming right up. You're up.
Best. Speaking of Browning,
You love that?
Actually quite
That was
good.
good. That was good. You proud of yourself? Jesus Christ, Philip. How many do you
I'm doing good.
Okay. I know Derrick Henry's not out.
No.
Okay. Don't I know things.
No. I wasn't trying to do a gotcha.
You got to check the audio.
Yes. Go ahead and speak into the mic. You're muted.
I just need to see if the values.
Testing
Yep,
1, 2, 3. The Seahawks suck.
that's why the values are off.
Hello.
So
Should I keep talking?
yeah.
Should be fixed now.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Pete Carroll.
It was
Okay.
like 8 decibels lower.
Oh, that's so odd. Okay. Thank you.
Me, I was low.
Yeah.
Who won that game?
Actually, it was Neil.
Oh.
Okay. You can make him lower if you want.
You're listening right to the commercial right now.
My mic is muted.
Yes, your mic. Yep. Yeah. You're listening to the commercial right. Let's refresh.
Mhm.
What the hell is David Sampson doing up right now?
You know, when you were talking about Kyler Murray just pretending to be out sick for another few weeks, it made me think of David. But I don't know if you want to be calling that on the air.
No. David finally do you remember the HOA case?
Did you have quality control come in here?
Yeah, he came in and he said that it was you that was down. Which worries
Oh,
me a little bit.
Nobody cares about me anyway. It's fine.
That's not true.
What would you say?
Did you turn me up, baby?
We did. It's Sports Girly who was down, so I'm not entirely sure what's up.
Should I talk louder? I feel like I'm shouting. How long is the commercials?
It's like 30 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Like 3.
Let me know when it comes back, guys. I'm
I
texting
will.
Ralph.
So I get these spam texts on occasion. And it's the ones where they always pretend to be trying to reach somebody else. And
Sorry, what did you say?
I get these. Oh, we're back. Sorry, never mind. I'll tell you later.
Thank you.
Good Saturday morning.
Good Saturday morning, everybody.
Hi, kids.
Hi, we are back from the bungle fields of Ralph Romano's bathroom,
Basement.
basement and bathroom,
Yes.
the double B.
Yes,
Of course, I am not Ralph Romano, but I am sitting across the legend Neil Lynch,
That's me.
and I am, of course, the legendary, emphasis on the dairy,
Yeah.
Philip Amrine.
Legendary.
And of course, we are joined by the sex appeal of the show, brought in to you by Sports Girly.
Yeah. The show, the chemistry, everything about the show just got turned up to 11.
Yes,
It's unbelievable.
including somebody's mic volume. All right.
Well, it wasn't. Listen, man, I'm not the engineer, so I blame him.
As
Whoever
well.
that guy is.
As well, we should.
Well, thank you for the kind reintroduction.
Absolutely.
Who's
So
those
happy to be
guys?
here.
Speaking of engineering, there's one player in the NFL right now who is engineering fourth quarter comeback after fourth quarter comeback, and that is possible MVP Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over there against the 49ers. Which side do you guys want to start with, guys? Do you want to talk about the MVP or do you want to talk about the morgue?
Yeah, I want to talk about the more. I want to talk about how many, what
The
what
49ers
point-
are the
yeah.
Walking Dead right now.
at what point, I mean, how many more players can you sacrifice to the football gods to satiate them at this point? Like, that's what I'm concerned about. I feel like every time they walk on the field, it's like, you must sacrifice another player.
I
No,
saw a really
no.
funny Instagram post that was like the 49ers first round pick for next year is going to be an orthopedic surgeon.
I mean, that's accurate. It could
Yeah.
be, or it just could be like a bunch of chickens or something, some kind of live animal to
To
sacrifice.
sacrifice, yeah.
I mean, maybe an altar.
A virgin calf or however that goes.
Something.
I wonder, because I'm not in the, actually, you know what? I'm not in the medical field, but I know somebody who is. I do wonder whether or not all of this merits a changing of the training staff, because to all intents and purposes, we have never seen a mass exodus of the training staff over there in San Francisco. And something's got to give. This is too many years, not in a row, but on and off, for this to just be the case. Like it is across the team, across the roster, and it has nothing to do. I think the only common denominator truly is the team's age. But even then, it's the old guys, it's the young guys. Brandon Ayuk's not exactly an old retiree. I mean, Trent Williams is over there hobbling around, and he's fine. The only, and here actually, I got something for you.
All right.
So Brock, wow, that was close.
Easy for
I'm
you
still in
to
bathroom
say.
talk. Brock Purdy over there, he's out with a toe injury. I have a thought on why this is.
Okay.
And I have yet to see this happen. Anybody surmise this or anything?
So, are you saying this is a hot take?
This
Are you going to plant your flag on this?
I'm not going to plant my flag on this because
Wait, this is as to how he got the toe injury?
yes,
Was it
absolutely.
playing football?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, let's hear it. Spill the tea, sis.
If you all remember, this offseason, Brock Purdy had a nice, fun little sponsorship deal that he had that he brought along all of his offensive linemen with for some boots, for Takaba's boots over there. He signed a sponsorship deal. Do you know what boots do to your toes? He needs to get out of the boots, man. That's
They-
what I'm talking
They
about.
make you
Oh,
scoot and
that's a
boogie.
stretch.
He has turf toe because he has already been hindering his toe performance on the daily, on the commute to and from the practice facility, to and from the games, because he had signed that sponsorship deal. That
Oh
is my
next you were gonna say Joe
conspiracy theory.
Burrow has been line dancing too much.
Well, yeah, he has a lot of lines, a lot
So-
of stripes, if you will.
These are sports related injuries.
I love how I'm the one that's accused of being a shock jock on the show.
I'm ju-
Meanwhile, you over here are just
Get
at
rid
this
of
point,
the boots.
You're just making up stuff at this point.
I'm just saying it makes sense to me. Fresh sponsorship, fresh toe injury. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
In breaking news, Joe Burrow was found sprained his ankle walking the runway at the Paris Fashion Show, which is why he's injured now.
He does do that though.
so the 49ers
Yeah, see.
are still in contention for not only the playoffs but also for the division title. I have heavy hesitation because when we started up before the season, we said you could moonwalk your way into 11 wins and a division title easily in this division and still win because of how easy that 49ers schedule was and still remains to be. However, I've softened. I don't think that they'll win
You're
it.
soft.
Yeah, well, I am a professional man right now. I'm not a
see.
hardworking man. I'm a professional man.
I see.
I do wonder whether or not they can win the division with the corpses that they are throwing onto the field currently, and with the rest of the division looking as good as it is right now. Because remember, the Seattle Seahawks did lose to the 49ers. However, because remember, Ralph, lest we ever forget, loved that loss. That was such a great loss. Oh my goodness, that loss. I love that loss.
Are
That
you
was
trying to imitate Ralph?
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to emphasize just how much he yearned for it. Like, he's like, I love that loss. I'm wrong. I love losses. I love the
That's
Seattle
not-
Seahawks.
That's not good.
Do we know when Brock Purdy is going to return?
No, we don't have an estimation. And unfortunately, right now, even the backup's injured, and he can't even get off and get rehab because he's needed because the starter's injured. Brock Purdy's just so broken in what he's been at. No, so we don't know.
So he can't go to rehab.
I mean, I saw so much potential in Mac Jones, 347 yards in the game. I mean, ultimately that just, is just really great statistics and didn't amount to a win because he kept getting tackled and interceptions. But no, I don't think so. There's just too many injuries on the 49ers. And I think like at their core, the team is so good. So good. Like I go back to the Super Bowl 2 years ago and I'm like, that was a great team, but I don't know. I don't know what's to be done with the amount of injuries on this team. It's like abnormal. It's almost like there's a hex on the team or
Well,
something.
There is rumor that the new intro song for the Niners when they take the field is
No, that's a dated reference even for me. Are you familiar with what's going on?
Oh, I'm just smiling to keep the light.
It's MASH. It's MASH. You ever watch MASH? The
My
Army Doctors?
elderly father does.
Yes.
Well, I am elderly, that's for sure.
Mm.
Anyway, it's the MASH song, so there you go. We could
Yeah.
play like Grey's Anatomy if you want to update it for the modern hip trendy kids. That's the show that you binge watch when you're depressed. Okay, is Grey's Anatomy apparently, as I found out. Anyway, yeah, I agree. The Niners are facing historic injury issues, and it's really hard to see them. Like that's just going to be the story of the rest of the year. How in the world do you overcome that? This year, if I was the lead, if I was John Lynch, who I believe I'm related to, actually, believe it or not, it's a long story.
That is a long story.
I think you just write this thing off. Just get through it as best you can, and pray to God that you have something left. You don't have to, more. I don't know.
But
Whatever.
didn't they have to do that last season?
It was starting to get that way at the end of the season. Like the MASH.
Yeah,
was
they
opened
were
up.
fine to
Yeah.
begin the season.
It's
It was-
continued.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a hex on
There
it.
is a hex because
So
these
we-
kind of things don't usually go season to season. Like a lot of times you'll see a team totally do a 180 between two seasons. But for a team to be like this bereft with injuries 2 seasons in a row, that's a hex.
So was Levi Stadium built on Indian burial grounds? Like why is it like this? What's happening?
I don't
That's,
know.
That's the question.
Brock Purdy is out. So will Ricky Pearsall for Sunday night's game. That might be an interesting one to monitor. Certainly,
That's gonna be interesting.
And to not bet on.
absolutely.
Avoid that like the plague.
Oh yeah, so bad.
On the other side, we also have The Walking Dead, but they're actually making pancakes out of something else. The
Pan flutes.
pan crepes. I like pan crepes.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers are on just a historic roll. Like they are injured, but you would not know it based off of their record and based off the performance of their quarterback. Baker cannot have a fully healthy wide receiver core. And if he were to, I worry that he would break all passing records because Emeka Egbuka looks like a stud as a rookie. He was on pace to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now he's out for about a month with a high ankle sprain, I believe. We'll see him when he gets back. Mike Evans is supposed to come back, but he's been injured for the past couple games. Chris Godwin, he's been out, and we're still trying to find out whether or not he'll come into play. Not to mention their offensive linemen are just going in and out like turnstiles.
Did you mention Bucky Irving? I think he's
Bucky
out.
Irving's also out.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they're having to deal with as the Buccaneers, and still looking maybe not dominant, but looking thorough and solid and coached to a stellar championship caliber team. It's hard to go against Baker Mayfield as MVP right now. I think he's still going to falter, and it will be Patrick Mahomes eventually to win that MVP. But right now, you got to give your flowers to Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
Oh, absolutely. He's a stellar quarterback. He plays like a veteran. The improvisational skills that he has, the way he's just able to handle the ball, and the connection that he has with his team. He's like, I'm getting MVP when I see Baker Mayfield, and not as much when I'm looking at Josh Allen this season. That's not to say that he's not great and he's not MVP level, but I'm definitely getting that more with Baker Mayfield. He just kind of has a presence on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And Neil, I'm curious.
Are you now?
I am quite curious.
I see.
Do you think that it's possible that Baker Mayfield is the best story we've seen in the NFL, maybe ever? Not only is he a walk,
Not ever. No,
I guess is it Tom Brady?
not
because I
ever.
was going to say,
well, I mean, he's better.
think of him. He's a walk-on in college. Comes out on a walk-on, wins the Heisman. No, wait, does he win the Heisman? I don't think he ever wins the Heisman. But he
won the
yeah,
Heisman.
yeah, or I don't remember. Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah, he won the Heisman. Comes in, is the #1 overall pick for a Cleveland Browns team. Gets into the playoffs when they were just nothing. Then gets tossed to the side. Goes to Carolina. Gets tossed to the side over there. Tosses a salad for the Rams when he comes in with 2 days prep time to start the game for the Rams. Wins that game against the Raiders, and then now is a franchise quarterback MVP level player as a quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and has taken the mantle from Tom Brady and now running with it. Now taking complete ownership of that team in a completely different way than Tom Brady did, and making it all his own and making himself a nice little home down there with just a reputation that and a moxie that everybody in the local sports area loves and appreciates and adores. He is just hitting on all cylinders right now, and that's why. I mean, you're right. Probably not the best, but as far as like football lives go, he's living one right now. He's living a top 5 one in my mind.
He definitely is, like, his career at this point definitely is in the conversation. It is one of the best stories that has happened. I agree. I don't know if it necessarily achieves the rank of like a Kurt Warner, the guy who was at working at Hy-Vee at a grocery store, and then he played for the Arena Football League, and then because Trent Green got injured, became basically the quarterback that ran the greatest show on turf and won the Super Bowl that year. I don't think it's a better story than that, but I think it is very close to that. It is in the vicinity. It is one of the great stories of the NFL as far as potential, as far as unrealized potential, as far as redemption at this point. I think what's going to make his story better is if by some miracle he can lead the Bucs to a Super Bowl. Then I think you cement it. It then becomes one of the great stories.
I guess so. I'm thinking, I guess you know what? I think you're right. If he can make it to a Super Bowl, I don't even think he needs to win. I honestly don't even think he needs to win.
I can back that.
If he goes and faces, obviously maybe not this rendition, but like a stud Ravens Lamar Jackson led team and just loses to the next up and coming, or the Josh Allen led Bills. Heavens to Betsy if he goes and faces the Kansas City Chiefs in that dynastic run that they're facing. I don't think anybody would shame him for coming up short in that situation, but also just give him applause and praise for what he's been able to accomplish and what he's been able to piece together during his time over in Tampa Bay. Because don't forget, lest we forget, that ship, pun intended, that Tom Brady left for Baker Mayfield to weather the storm with was riddled with cap limitations because they were going,
Scurvy, if you will.
if I will, because
Matey.
they were walking the plank on a dangerously thin plank
Scurvy.
because Tom Brady and that championship caliber run for the Super Bowl, they brought everybody back at the cost of future years and future salary cap implications in order to finance that team in the there and now. They did not win another one, but Baker Mayfield had to weather that storm cap wise financially. And then now is on the other side and reaping the benefits of now having a fully fortified cast that, while yes, most of them are injured, they at least have the depth because that team has been drafted well. That team has been able to acquire talent and been able to reacquire their own talent by keeping a Chris Godwin, by keeping a Mike Evans, by keeping a Rashad White, by keeping these talented players that would otherwise leave for other places because they like being there. They like the organization. They like the leadership. They like the quarterback at place right now. I just think it speaks well of him. I think it speaks well of the organization. And it's something enviable that they're building over there in Tampa Bay. Who would have thought we could say that about anything in Florida? Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs,
No.
they are
From what?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said Kansas. Okay, I thought you said the officials. Oh, you meant the Chiefs. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Somebody's a little sour because
Tired.
I'm sorry. The world is sour, not somebody.
well, first they're sour.
Monday morning, I walk into the office, and the girlies in the office are talking about Princess Mahomes. That's what they've named him.
I get it. Success is enviable. Success makes us all not the fairest shade of gorgeous that we all could be, because greed is unbecoming. And when we all are greedy and wish that we can have the best of ourselves, we then too can be the bullies that become bullied. Because the Lions were so upset by the absolute pounding, by the absolute slobber knocker that they were bequeathed by the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Did you read a dictionary before you?
I did.
Today?
They were gifted just an absolute clobbering on the hands of the Chiefs that they had to wait for the final game whistle to be blown to then start fighting back. It's shameful, and especially from a team that supposedly bites kneecaps, the team that's going to be the bully, the team that's going to make you feel it on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the next week and have you lose 2 games in one because you lost to the Lions and then you lost to the next game because you were still recovering from the Lions. For that team to then come around and start a fight after the game is done and to also come around and say they were bullying us, weak. Weak
Talk about
sauce.
losing 2 games. The Lions lost to both the Chiefs and the officials that game as they were playing both.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah. You know that there were 8 missed
That's how you know
penalty
that they're
calls
bad?
on that game, Philip? 8.
you know how,
8.
how in every single game, you want to talk about missed
Oh, I'm
penalty
sorry.
calls?
They were all on the Chiefs.
You want to talk about missed penalty calls? You can look at 4 specifically for the Philadelphia Eagles who miss offsides each and every time they do the tush push.
We're talking about the Chiefs, though.
Oh, see, we can isolate it to one team, but we can't
can.
isolate it to any other
We
one.
can isolate it to a team where this is a recurring pattern year after year. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it. These missed calls are so obvious.
You know why everybody sees it? Because the Kansas City Chiefs are in primetime games more than any other team because they are the media darling right now of the NFL. That is not the Cowboys. They are the team that is
Are they
prompted most.
the media darling though now? Like
Maybe
this
not
year?
darling, but they're certainly in the limelight.
They were the
most.
last couple years.
They were up until around Tyreek Hill leaving, ironically, because Tyreek Hill is not exactly Annie over there, little
That's
orphan
true.
Annie.
Exactly.
But I think that was the end of the fun-loving Chiefs. Then they became something else. They molded into a different monster and more divisive. But
So-
I think with me saying that they are back is certainly coupled with the referee calls for partial refereeing. I think is also coming into question on how they win. And I think also comes into call on why Patrick Mahomes is considered to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And now we see all that back and they're back. Neil.
This is this reminds me of all of the controversy around the Patriots. Very similar fashion.
Thank you.
Especially around Tom Brady.
Thank you.
All the officials are giving him favors. And here's the thing. With technology today, there are ways to prove statistically, through data that referees might be giving preferences or missing calls. So I don't dispute that whatsoever. But I do think the thing is the Chiefs are not invincible. They're not even inevitable. They're not.
They've been
They're
invincible
not
3
Thanos.
times this season.
They're invincible. Yeah, Vince Vonable. I think he was at the Seattle Mariners game actually, but that's a different story. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to, like, it's romantic to talk about the referees, and all the memes are certainly fire when they talk about like the Chiefs got the referees got a Christmas present this year, and I just all the fun stuff, right? I get all that. I love that energy, but at the same time,
It is funny.
I don't know. It's like, I think you can beat them. I think you can. The Lions, look, if you're gonna walk the walk, you got, or excuse me, I got that whole analogy mixed up. If you're gonna
That's
talk the talk about biting kneecaps and doing all that, you got to walk the walk, right? And
100%.
it is an awful look to get into a scrum, a Donnybrook, to use your terminology, fisticuffs after the game, after the fact. That's the time when you're supposed to, when all of the teams, when all the players congregate in the center of the field and they shake hands because they're all part of the same family ultimately. And you get the groups that get around and kneel in prayer, right? Like that's the camaraderie of the NFL post game is one of the things that makes the NFL a great sport. And to be so self-centered and so butthurt that you lost that you just start, okay, this is when I'm going to pick fights. Like, I get it. In college football, that happens once in a while. So they're not doing themselves any favors. And I would say this, that a group of men like that is being led by a leader. Everything rises and falls on leadership, in my opinion. So that, to me, is a direct result of Dan Campbell. Whatever tone he's setting, whatever example he's setting in the locker room or throughout the course of the week as they prepare, that's what they're responding to. So for me personally, not a big fan of that look. I think it's bad.
Did you know that one of the 8 missed penalties was Patrick Mahomes taunting Branch after a touchdown? And I'm not justifying violence, but I'm just saying that's where that's coming from. And Dan Campbell, in the post-game interview, very much apologized for it and said that this is not the tone that he is setting for his team, that this is not the way they want to behave. He completely owned it and apologized and said he would talk it over with the team.
Well, words are cheap and deeds are dear. So let's see what happens next week.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
And listen, you know what? He may have been covering afterwards. At least he's smart enough to know. Because here's the thing about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, honestly, doesn't have a lot to worry about because if this whole football thing doesn't work out, he's going to make a killer server at Applebee's. That guy.
Oh, that was good.
That guy could upsell and cross-sell anything to me.
That was
There's
good.
43 million different combinations here of appetizers. I love that guy. So yeah, I think he's fun. That was my insight on this whole thing. Just
100%.
making fun of him. So,
So
what else are we going to talk about?
I think the last game that we have that has happened within the past week we should talk about is the Old Man Retiree Bowl.
Oh,
Happened this past Thursday. We got the Bengals upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, this is not just any Bengals team. This is a Joe Flacco team.
Joe
in-
Flacco we trust.
In Flacco, we trust. Is he elite? He certainly was on Thursday night in the really, really phenomenal Bengals Arctic
Arctic
White
game.
Tiger jerseys. Look, my only thing is when you have a defense that is the number one paid defense in the entirety of the NFL, in part of the Steelers, where is it? I need it. You cannot. I refuse to allow you to give up that many points. Granted, Thursday night divisional game, I get it. It's tough. We all have tough assignments from time to time. So be it. But you cannot allow Joe Flacco coming in 2 weeks into a new tenure with the team, gifted the starting quarterback job, and put up 33 on my freshly paid TJ Watt, on my Jalen Ramsey, who I forget if he even played. I don't think he did.
He's yours.
Yeah. If I'm the Steelers on that defense, the terrible towel just stood for terrible that time because that defense was awful for 33 points. Give me a break. Yes. Do I think it's unfair to expect them to have a last game clutch stoppage, a 3 and out, so that way that they don't get in field goal range? No. But every other time that they went down the field and scored a touchdown, I thought, okay, here you can go. Chase Brown doing nothing all year, all of a sudden has like 100+ yards from scrimmage. Welcome to the Steelers rush defense, I guess. Cameron Hayward, you wanted a new deal in the offseason. Booyah, here you go. Oh, where are you stopping the run? Steelers, unacceptable loss. Truly unacceptable loss. And to go
I agree.
to lose a divisional game in that fashion, unacceptable. And Aaron Rodgers was not the problem. I'm shocked. Aaron Rodgers was not the problem, nor should he have been against that awful Bengals defense. But giving up 31 points, he did his job. He did what he held up his end of the bargain. Bengals should not have won that game. Kudos to Joe Flacco for winning it. Mike Tomlin, I guess, fulfilled his own prophecy of saying, I guess, it's the Browns. Andrew Berry, the executive for the Browns, who traded away Joe Flacco, who you thought so much of to be a starting quarterback to start out your teams, trading with him within the division. It seems like a mistake, but I guess he's smarter than I am. I guess he fulfilled his own prophecy because all of a sudden he's making that choice seem a little bit more valid today.
So, Sports Girlie, what did you think of the Unk Bowl?
I thought it was a fascinating game. I wasn't rooting for either team, but yes, the Steelers defense was a huge disappointment for the Steelers. That's not how they should have performed. But the Old Man Bowl, I mean, it was good. It was a really, really solid game. It was an exciting game. I was thoroughly impressed with Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary at the end. It was a really good throw. Like Philip is right. This game was not on Aaron Rodgers and not for lack of his playing. Like that Hail Mary, that went straight into the end zone. He did not just throw it away into the stands. He knew what he was doing. He was there. Really, just
He's done that a few times before.
Yeah.
As a Packer fan, I saw that more than once.
Yeah. Solid ending to the game. Solid attempt.
Yeah, I agree. It was just fun. Listen, I'm at the point now where I don't wish terribly ill will on Aaron Rodgers. He just turned into kind of a douche by the end of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I am happy to see him lose, and I'm happy that it was an old guy like him that kicked his butt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, it was the defense was really the problem in that game. I get that, but it was nice to see Flacco get one. Honestly, just pure catharsis on my.
Oh yeah, and trust me, as a lover of chaos, I love that the Steelers lost that one, and also this keeps the Ravens alive. Lest we forget, the Ravens are down there, supposedly being kicked dirt on and supposed to be dead and buried. Well, guess what, Steelers? You lose to the Bengals on a backup quarterback, not even Joe Burrow. That's a game you shouldn't lose. That keeps the Bengals alive, and that destroys the Steelers' chances of outright winning that division and running away and hiding. I'm sorry. That is awful. Ravens, that was a win for them yesterday. That's fantastic. They won on a bye. Good for them.
I mean, before yesterday's game, Thursday's game, I was thinking, can the Steelers win the division?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, no, the Thursday game, it just upended that.
100%. All right. Now we move along to the games of this week, and we will start by picking the games. Of course, we do have oh my goodness, I had everything ready.
What's the current tally?
The current tally as I sit here today ahead of you, looking at the side. So last week, Ralph went 6-0, unfortunately.
Wow.
Neil, you went 5-1,
Woohoo!
as did I,
Yay.
and Triple H went 6-0 as well.
Well,
So,
we don't care about him. So
and let's see. Ralph has 21 wins, 13 losses. Neil, you are 20, and I have 22. So I'm still leading by 1.
I'm in third place.
You're in third place, but we are a game separates each and every one of us.
This is where I just give up at this point.
Yes. But Triple H's win percentage is immaculate at 100% on the season.
Yeah, well, we don't
Sports
care.
Girly, you too can get on this train at 100%
That's right.
win
Do I have to
percentage.
buy someone dinner at the end of the season?
You have to buy me dinner. Sonic? Maybe a pretzel stick?
I'm gonna pass on the trend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. So let's get to the picks. Here we
We'll
go.
talk off air.
Picked a couple of the hardest games I could find. Neil, let's start with you. Colts at Chargers.
So this is a tough one because obviously the Colts have some momentum. And I just feel like at some point the the San Diego Superchargers are going to they're going to start dominating, but I don't think it'll be this week. I'm picking the Colts. And it's a coin flip for me, kind of, but I favor the Colts in this one. I think it'll be a close game score-wise. It'll be like maybe a field goal separates it, but that's what I think.
I do think that the Colts are starting to come down to earth. I think the Chargers have not fully recovered from their injuries, but I think that they are sitting in their injuries. Like they've adjusted to what they have as opposed to having to freshly deal with the new fire. They are in compliance with the room being a little hot. They're saying, all right, fine, this is what we had to deal with. I'm still going to bake the pie. I'm still going to make the best of what's going on. So it's with that conviction, and it's not great, but it is some validation and conviction. I'm going to pick the Chargers and not love my chances on it. Let's go Harbaugh. Sports Girly, what are we doing?
I'm going with the Colts. I think they had a really solid team last week, offense and defense, and those are the two parts of the team. They just played really well last week.
Don't
and I
forget
think
special teams.
Yeah, there are
I'm-
3
I'm a
parts.
special teams.
You're,
Moment for
you're my
special
special
teams.
team.
You're my team.
Dude, do I need to leave the room here?
Please don't leave the room.
Ugh.
No, and I think the Chargers, they got off to a really, really strong start at the beginning of the season, but I'm kind of seeing it a little bit. I just really, really love how the Colts are looking. They're just looking really good.
And of course, Ralph over there picks the Colts as well.
Hey, Colts. Nah.
Commanders versus Cowboys. I'll start. Cowboys do not have as big of a home favorite advantage as you might think. The Commanders feel like the better team, barely lost to the Bears over there. They would have won had it not been for a weird fumble. They need to have a make good win. Cowboys, I think, are in and of themselves an also ran team. I think that we moved along to the Carolina Panthers and just somehow thought that they were just awful, and I don't think that they're awful. I think that that's a fine loss to have when you're a third tier team. So I'm going to go with the Commanders, thinking that the Cowboys are not that good and feeling pretty good about it. Goes to you, Sports Girl.
I'm picking the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb is coming back.
That is true.
And that's going to be pretty huge for them. And I think they do play really well at home. So I'm going with that. And I'm excited for CeeDee Lamb to come back, mainly for my fantasy purposes. But I think that's going to be huge for them.
Neil.
As I stated earlier in the show,
Hmm.
I will never bet on or pick the Cowboys ever again the rest of the year. I don't care if they're favored by 100 points. I'm picking against them because they cost me some money, and now I don't care about them anymore. Now, I will say this. I do have some good friends that we have met through our time at the Nest, 59th and Thunderbird on Glendale. They are avid Cowboys fans. So this is no disrespect to them because I love them.
It's a little disrespect.
And you can disrespect them. They're Cowboys fans.
Oh, see, I wouldn't go that far. I do like them. They're great people. But despite that, I don't care. I'm never picking the Cowboys ever again. Commanders all the way.
It is a clean weekend warrior picks sweep. Ralph, of course, picked the Commanders as well. Sports Girl, we'll go to you first on this one.
Mhm.
Packers versus Cardinals. Can the Nest rise up and pack down the Packers?
No, it can't. I'm picking the Packers.
Yeah, I'll be quick here so that way I give
Yeah.
Neil my time. I cede my time to Neil. I too pick the Packers. Neil, anything you want to add? Any deliverance?
I really don't. I just think that I am concerned about the Packers' perceived and possible inconsistency, especially on defense. So I don't know. I keep forgetting, and I haven't checked. This is what a great sports person I am. I haven't even checked the injury report. I don't know if like Christian Watson's going to be back for the Packers, but they have a lot of pieces missing, and so obviously over time that's going to help shore up the offense. However, the only thing that worries me is that you got Jacoby Brissett out there, right? The Packers historically, and I realize this has nothing to do with anything. Correlation is not equal causation. I get that, but historically, the Packers have a knack for losing to new quarterbacks when their first start is against the Packers. I think of way back in the Stone Age, Charlie Batch, his first professional game, and I realize he's been around a while. I get that, but the first game that Charlie Batch played, he destroyed the Packers. Okay, I also think the first time that what was his name? I forget his name. I can't even think.
Curly?
Curly Lambeau. Curly Lambeau. And those there have been a history. So I have pause for that. With that said, I'm still picking the Packers.
Yeah, it's and again, this one, an entire weekend Warriors sweep. Of course, Ralph, surprisingly to nobody, did pick the Packers as well. We move along to
Packers.
Ralph Packers. Next one, we'll start off with you, Neil. Giants versus my beloved
The
Broncos.
The Gigantes
See, muy sí.
versus Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
So my question is this: if the Broncos are able to neutralize or otherwise limit the damage of Cam Scatterbo, the damage that Cam Scatterbo does to himself or to other people, obviously, I have to make sure I mention that.
The C in CTE stands for Cam Scatterbo.
It's got to, absolutely.
CTE is scared of Cam Scatterbo.
Oh,
That's so. This is like a Chuck Norris joke. Yeah. So he gave Cam Scatterbo gave CTE to CTE. So I and listen, I love me a good Cam Scatterbo story. You know what? You know how much I love this story?
Are you gonna love it a little too much?
I'm gonna love it a little too much.
Oh,
I'm gonna pick the New York Gigantes and Cam Scatterbo. I don't do it with a lot of conviction.
You got to make up a
It's
game somewhere.
all the love in my heart for you, Phil. As an avowed Broncos fan, I'm picking the Gigantes.
Sports girly.
So I have to pick the Broncos, but there's a big but. There's a very big
Well,
but.
there's
She
one
likes
big
big
butt in
butts and
studio.
She cannot
I
lie.
set you guys up and you both took the bait.
Brother
There's a big but.
pronunciation.
The but is I am very excited to see the momentum that the Giants are coming off of over that win over Philadelphia. With the Cam Scatterbo, Jackson Dart, was it Philly?
No, it was,
Yeah.
and it was an
Uh,
early
yeah.
game last week, so they've had the mini bye.
Yeah. So exactly. They had the mini bye and the momentum that they're. I mean, like that's huge for the Giants. They used to be terrible, and now they beat the Super Bowl champions. So I think they're definitely going to carry that momentum with them, especially the Jackson Dart Cam Scatterbo combo. I think like they have the cutest, like freshest young energy. It's adorable to watch, and I'm so excited to watch it. My pick is the Broncos with a big butt.
They're fresh,
That was your favorite thing to me.
exciting.
You went all that way to upset me by giving all the generosities to the Giants by saying, "Oh, they're fantastic. Oh, they're all this," just to pick the Broncos. My goodness, how dare you? How dare the Broncos are going to smack these Giants. The Broncos are going to put these rookies, these tandem of rookies, in their place. They're going to say, "Guess what?
With their barely not a rookie
Let me,
quarterback.
let me take a bite out of your big apple,
This is where the
boys."
Broncos end up.
Yes, the Broncos. You know when the best time for a coach is when you get a bad
Goes to
win.
sleep.
No, when you get a bad win,
Okay.
because then you get to coach them as if you lost, but then still have the win in the bank. My God, Sean Payton, he's going to go through 2 packs of gum over there. He's going to go through Pete Carroll amounts of gum of juicy fruit over there because he's going to be just so uptight and up Bo's nicks that he's going to go over there and say, boys, J.K. Dobbins, get on that field and get me 100 yards from scrimmage. This won't even be close by the time the second quarter starts. We're going to be at a 14-0 start, baby. Broncos take this, and they take it easy. Ralph over here, let's see if he was right. Ralph has no guts. He is the Giants.
Ah, Ralph and I agree on something. That's awesome. I love when that happens.
I will be gladly alone on Broncos Island this week. This is not even a
Wait,
homer hit.
Sports Girlie's with you.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I put Giants
I
because I
said
thought that the trail she was going down.
Broncos with a big butt.
And she cannot lie.
I cannot lie.
My two favorite things. Texans versus the Seahawks. I will start on this one.
Oh, will you?
I shall. This is tough because if anybody was going to make the Seahawks look bad, I genuinely do think it is the Texans, because the Texans have one of, if not the flat out best defensive line. The Seahawks are weakest right now across their offensive line, even though they're making it work with duct tape and a bit of hope and a prayer. I'm not. Am I that bold? I can't. I'm pretty bold. Let's do it. And you know what? One more week of upsetting
Do it.
Ralph.
Do it.
I want it. Give it to me. I need it. Give me those gosh darn Texans. Give them to me. Steer me in the right direction, you bulls. Texans. Sports Girly, join me.
We just got a little thumbs down thing from a Ralph Romano.
Join me. Join me.
So the Seahawks are 4-2 this season. Both of their losses were very close. So those are, as far as good and bad losses go, those were good losses. They were both within a 7-point loss
Sure.
of their two losses.
Sure.
Houston's wins this season were against the Titans and the Ravens. So as far as wins go, those are unimpressive wins.
And that was week 1 of Lamar Jackson not being there against the Ravens. It wasn't even Lamar Jackson-led Ravens.
So we have impressive losses versus unimpressive wins between these two.
It's very good.
Yeah. So for that reason, I'm going with the Seahawks. I'd like in spite of myself, but I just like
Oh,
how
wow.
they've been good this
Back.
season. They just been good.
Before we get to Neil, the Seahawks are Ralph's pick. To the surprise of everybody, everybody surprised that Ralph's picking the Seahawks? Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
shocked.
Neil, go ahead and join the tide.
What?
Join the herd.
Roll Tide. Join the herd.
Join the Texan Nation.
The only reason that I think this will be different than what you would like is because they're playing at home. Lumen Field is a true home field advantage. The 12th man is a serious thing, and I think that's going to be enough to put the Seahawks over the Houston Texans. So I'm picking the Seahawks.
I once again
Ralph.
I once again will be alone in the picking section. Speaking of picking the right one, Sports Girly, I pick you to go first. Buccaneers versus Lions. This is a big game.
Yes,
We
it
got
is.
injured, coming off of injury, self-infused. Like, my goodness, the Lions are walking in here with no secondary. Buccaneers are walking in here with an MVP, and that's about it. Go ahead, Sports Girly.
I think that the injuries in the Buccaneers overwhelm their chances, definitely. And the Lions also, they recover from losses pretty well, I would say. I like how they come back from a loss. So for that reason, I'm going with the Lions. I think that they have a good chance with the injuries on the Bucs and the momentum that they're going to gain from losing last week.
Neil.
Well, I think that the Detroit Lions have been exposed. I think whatever duct tape and baling wire and shoe goo, whatever they were doing to hold this thing together the first couple of weeks of the season, I think it's falling apart. I think it is cracking. I think that this is going to be a stretch of despair for the Detroit Lions. And I think that unfortunately they're facing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that is led by, as you said, the legendary, more so than other legends, but the legendary Baker Mayfield. I picked the Bucs in this one. I
Wow.
do.
And Neil, you are right on line with Ralph Romano over there, who picks the Bucs.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be highly impressive. I am alone on an island for the third game out of the 6-game slate that we have here. So on 3 games, I am alone, and I love it because I am picking the Lions. Do you know when the Lions are most efficient on offense?
When they're not playing.
No, when they when they are in the lead. And
Right,
Chris
yeah.
Collinsworth made this point last Sunday night, and I found it to be astute, and I found it to be true. When Jared Goff has to manufacture come from behind victory, he can't. He has little tiny baby hands, and he fumbles the ball, and he does not have the ability to manufacture that offense into a way, because you're not going to run your way out of a loss. You're going to have to pass and throw the ball. When the defense is able to gear up and get into that, well, what's the team that has come from behind victories all season, pretty much? What team is getting to such a deficit to where that's going to be the Buccaneers, and the Detroit Lions are able to salt away victories. That is one thing that they are able to do. Now, granted, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have Vita Vea. They have an ability to stop the rush. I don't think that they have enough manpower to stop the rush consistently for this specific Detroit Lions rushing offense. I think that the Detroit Lions will gain the lead, will be able to hold on to it, and will be able to secure a victory and bring down Baker and the Bucks just a little bit on a loss that will feel completely justifiable in the moment. Will be given over to the injuries, and will make sure that the Detroit Lions are still top and perched their place in the NFL NFC power rankings over there. So give me the Detroit Lions.
So you mentioned Chris Collinsworth. Was it like, now there's a guy, Jared Goff. He's got baby hands.
He's got baby hands.
It's not like Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
great. I love Chris Collinsworth. I think he's great.
He's got a great voice.
Now
He has
there's
a
a
great voice and great commentary.
Now here's a guy.
now there's a gal who loves me some Chris Collinsworth.
He's great. He has great energy.
There's
There's a lot of hate for him on the internet, but I like him.
Oh, I hate him.
So thanks to our super fan Lisa, because
Oh,
me
there
and
she
Sports
is.
Nova-
Is Lisa chiming in?
She's not here, but we will make sure that she knows that for this week and this week alone, both myself and Sports Curly are both shouting, "Go Lions! Go Lions! Go Lions!" We are all one pride. All right. So that is our games of the week that we're picking. I had a question. Any games you guys wanted to touch on before? You get one game if you want to talk about before we move on to a game that I have specifically. But do you have a game that we have not touched upon on any of the picks that you feel like you need to espouse or talk about or pontificate over? Neil?
I would like to pontificate over the Eagles Vikings game.
That is the one that I thought, because as far as picks go and lines go, that one I think really was not as close as it may appear, but I'm interested to see what angle you're taking.
Well, here's the angle I'm taking. The fans are going to be absolutely insane at US Bank Stadium on Sunday, because obviously there's the whole story about what happened during the Super Bowl year. When the Super Bowl was hosted in Minneapolis, the Vikings were a game away from being able to play the Super Bowl in their own home stadium, right? A la the Rams last time. But it was the Philadelphia Eagles who defeated them. And you talk about giving energy. When you were in Minneapolis, after that happened, it felt like that your girlfriend dumped you, and then she forced you to have her wedding to the new guy in your backyard, which is what it felt like when the Eagles played for the Super Bowl and defeated the Patriots in that game. So I think, and also too, there's a history with Philadelphia or with Vikings fans and the Eagles fans, because Eagles fans are mean and nasty, and Vikings fans, though they are quite passive aggressive, as all Minnesotans are,
They'll throw a hot dog at you, but mean it for you to enjoy for the rest of the game.
they don't like you. They won't throw a hot dog at you. They'll just talk about you behind your back. Anyway, I think, yeah, you betcha. So I think that the Vikings, the fans will be jacked up, and I have a feeling, I've got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night for the Vikings. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I think that,
lest we forget, a Wentz revenge game. Remember where he got drafted?
yes. Carson Wentz. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that name. You're right. Carson Wentz, North Dakota State's very own Carson Wentz, will be playing against the team that drafted him and subsequently kicked him to the curb.
Get out of here.
That's right. So I think that those factors alone this will be an anomaly game. You can't use this to judge anything about either the Vikings or the Eagles long term, but in this game, on this night, in this moment,
on this Christmas Eve,
the Vikings. Skull, 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 skull. Go Vikings.
I loved it. I'm not sure I'm with you, but hey, it feels like a Eagles get right game. I could be wrong. Glad I'm not picking it. I don't have any confidence in that whatsoever. What I do have a confidence in, apparently, are becoming once again, and I hate that they become mine. My Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm telling you, when they ram it down the Rams over there in London, they give them the strongest cup of tea that they can have because that is home territory for them. That
I
is
know,
their
it's basically, they've been there for like a month. Is
Yeah.
it something like that?
yeah, that is their,
Seriously.
their home away from home. It's the Jaguar den over there that they get to habitate. When the Jaguars give it to the Rams, because lest we forget, Puka Nacua ruled out. Not only is his ankle was already going to be a problem, he might have played had it been locally. But remember, elevation is not good for those injuries, and it sores and inflammation, yada yada yada. And then of course you're going international, longer flight. You don't want to do that. Plus, the grass and weather control over there in London is a little bit worse than it is here in the States.
It's different.
Yeah, the pitch, as they say,
The
is
pitch.
is not quite as grass good over as it is over here in the States. So they did not want to they did not want to risk Puka Nacua getting even more injured than he is, as he is such a driver of that offense unto himself. I think that without Puka Nacua, I think that this offense is not able to do much against a Jaguars defense that is feisty, that is turnover prone. I think that the Jaguars are going to go to 5-2, and yet again demand the respect of the NFL that they will not give them, that will not be earned by anybody else thinking that they deserve it. But I believe in you, Jacksonville. I believe in you, Jaguars. You are the team of destiny this year, and it begins this Sunday at 2 in the morning. What time do they? I mean,
It
6.
starts at 6:30 local
It,
time.
fe- it feels
God.
feels so early. But anyways, have a good day.
So-
Sorry, anything?
6:30. Who's up that time? It's like Aaron Rodgers. My God.
I know, no kidding.
Actually,
Sports
I'm getting
girly,
early
anything?
That time because I'm getting old. So
You keep flip flopping on the Jaguars.
Well, each week's a different story. But this
Each week is this whole season they're going to be this. This whole season they're going to be terrible.
they can be a team of destiny depending on
We
what
should be
week it is.
recording this so we can.
Oh,
push
it's all
future
recorded.
words.
Titans were the team of destiny heading into the season. Alas, no more. I don't know
That
who
was
was saying
bad.
that. Yeah, that was
That
bad.
was bad.
That was
I like to
pretty-
remind me of that every so often. Who was a Titans girly for a minute? So bad.
So do you know the because they've been there so long, do you know what they call the training facility for Jacksonville over in London?
I do not.
They call it Duval. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say Duval again.
I could tell. All right. With that, I have a game for us to end on here. Of course, it is not going to be Taylor Swift crazy. That would be absurd. I mean, I saved that.
That is stupid. Why would you not do
I
that?
saved that for the truest Taylor Swift fan out there, for Ralph, because I know how much he loves it.
Closet Swifty.
Instead, I am going to another avenue of which we can all enjoy here. And I was reminded of because of that retirement match that was the Flacco Rogers Bonanza on Thursday night. I thought I'd-
AARP Bowl.
Exactly. I thought I'd have us a game called Who is Older? All right.
Oh wow, I like
We're gonna-
this.
Yes, absolutely. Sports Girlie, we're going to start out with you.
Oh God.
You tell me, of these three quarterbacks, who is the oldest? We're looking at Joe Flacco,
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers,
Uh-huh.
or Russell Wilson. Who is the oldest?
No. Joe Flacco is 40. Aaron Rodgers is 41. Russell Wilson, he's the oldest, right?
He is the youngest by far. He is 36. Aaron Rodgers is 41.
I thought
And of
Russell Wilson
course-
was old and just looked really good.
No, he just looks really good for being really bad. Neil,
Yes,
which
I'm
is-
here.
who is older?
Me,
Bill Booty Cheeks over there in UNC.
Bill Booty Cheeks.
Yes, Pete Carroll
Pete Carroll.
or Terry Francona
Terry Francona.
is the youngest of the three. He is
Ah.
66. Pete Carroll, surprisingly,
72.
74. Bill Belichick
Wow.
is 73.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. Yeah, Terry
Yeah, Pete
Francona.
Carroll
That was
was-
too bad. I'm sorry I said that.
It's because he's
Terry.
bald. You always look a little older when you're bald.
I
That's my thing.
suppose.
Well, I heard during the game last week, the announcer was like, Pete Carroll is the oldest person in history.
I
The
love that.
oldest person in the history.
You hear that, Ralph?
Methuselah got nothing on Pete Carroll.
That is who you support.
We
The
miss you,
oldest person.
Pete.
It's a senior citizen care center over there in Las Vegas in the Roomba. All right, Neil. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We're back to you, Sports Girly.
Yes.
We're going to move over to the NBA. Who is the oldest? Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, or Amari Stoudemire?
Mark Stoudemire.
She says with conviction, and she is right. Do you happen to have any idea how close it was?
LeBron.
Well, I know Mark
James.
Stoudemire has been out of the game for a while.
He is, but he's only 42. LeBron James is 40. Carmelo
Can I
Anthony
flex
is
that-
41.
Can I flex that I met Amari Stoudemire and there's a picture of us next to each other and it's like what? Sorry, it's like that. It's really cute. Yeah.
And she's referring to the height
The height
differences
difference
that for
between an NBA
since it is an
player.
audio
Yes.
format first
Yeah,
and foremost.
Really sweet guy, really
Yeah,
nice guy.
I might have known that you have seen Amari Stoudemire and thought you might give that rousing rendition of a story. I love it. All right, Neil,
Yes.
this is for you, baby, right here.
Oh, yeah.
Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, or Miguel Rojas
Miguel Rojas.
is indeed the oldest at 36.
Ding, ding,
Kike
ding, ding,
is
ding, ding,
34.
ding,
Max
ding, ding,
Muncy
ding.
is 35. So it was a little close.
That
but-
was easy.
Okay, there we go. Sports girly.
Mhm.
We're going back to the quarterback wheel. Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, or Sourpuss Geno Smith.
That's interesting.
I feel like they're so close in age.
Mm.
All three of their ages start with the number 3. Whatever that does for you.
Can I ask questions that indirectly help me?
Absolutely. I won't answer them, but you can ask.
Wow. It's not that kind of show.
Keon Fuemehor.
Yo,
It's Kian fue
yo,
mejor.
yo, whore. Yo, whore
Kian
Alright.
fue mejor.
Baker Mayfield?
is indeed the youngest of the 3. You would win the reverse prize. But Geno Smith is the oldest. Of course, I would give you a Geno Smith is the wrong answer in any situation here. An interception leader, he's also leading that. It's crazy. Geno Smith, 35. Dak Prescott, 32. Baker Mayfield, 30.
Oh, wow.
30. Neil,
Yes.
we go to you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
For the second to last one,
Let's do it.
we're going. Who is the youngest rookie here?
Is the youngest rookie?
Or sorry, no, who is the oldest rookie? I'm
Oldest,
sorry.
who's the oldest
I
rookie?
apologize. I set you up for failure there. Let's set you up for success.
I'm used to that.
Oldest rookie, Travis Hunter,
Okay.
Shador Sanders, or Abdul Carter. Who is the oldest?
Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter might be the youngest. I'm not sure. Him and Travis Hunter are 22. Shador, legendarily 23. Legendary.
How's he? By the way, how's he doing on the Browns lately? I haven't checked.
He's number 2.
He's number
No
2.
puns.
Behind-
No puns
behind-
whatsoever.
behind-
He's a Brown number 2. Stop it, Neil.
Behind Dylan
Stop it.
Gabriel.
Yeah, he
Behind
is.
Dylan Gabriel.
Hey, trust me, he's getting his opportunity. If you lose to the Dolphins over there, Browns, I sniff a starting job.
Is that-
You know what else I sniff? A dinner over there at Del
Sure.
Taco, wherever we designated
Well, I
the
think-
dinner
I think
bet
that is-
for.
Massively downgraded from Arrowhead Grill. You're talking about Sonic and Del Taco.
Hey, no.
I
Here's
think Arrowhead Grill is the move.
no. Here's the deal. I told Ralph because we said dinner bet, and I said, but it's under my level of dinner because I can't do Arrowhead Grill. So this is we lower the standard for me. Let me make that clear. I will always own up to a bet. He does not have to get me anything beyond just maybe he could even get me a salad and breakfast brunch and go over here for our Saturday weekend warriors. I would even take that. So he's gonna get cheap. He's gonna get a cheap date out of me. But I am taking that starting job, Shador Sanders says. I am taking that bet as well, says Phil.
So what was the bet actually?
The bet was that Shador Sanders would not start a game this season for the Cleveland Browns. He would not start.
He took that bet.
He took the no.
opposite.
He took the answer no, and I took the answer yes. Shador Sanders would get a start. Now, if he sees the field, I think we are in contention of what that means. But
He's got to start though.
Did
I
you
think
take
start.
that bet because you actually think he's going to play, or you're just hopeful?
No,
he
no,
truly in his heart of heart thinks he's gonna.
no. He's going to play now. Whether or not I think that,
You know, the way you said that was just so sweet.
yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. No, I truly do think he's going to get it. Now, if he holds on to it, the Browns are just a schnikey show over there, just absolutely bad. So I don't know if he'll be able to hold on to it.
Well, let me before we end this, let me throw something out here for you to sweeten the pot here on the bet. I understand the financial implications of an Arrowhead Grill dinner because I had to pay one.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So I am very happy to help subsidize. If you are required to pay up, I can help subsidize that because I really like Arrowhead Grill. So if you contribute a small financial portion to
I
that
can do
bet,
that. I
then
can do
we-
that.
then I think
Low risk bet for you.
I think we can work it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can.
You know, that's like when you get those bonus bets from FanDuel. That's what he was giving you.
No,
I'm
I
getting a bonus bet.
I completely appreciate it, and I will take you up on that. And trust me, Neil, if we up it, if Ralph agrees to this, because again, yeah, we have to all be a part of it, and I'm a fair better.
Yes.
If he agrees to it, then I will certainly think that you and me are on the right side of this. It is trending that way. Having it go so
I
bad,
don't agree at all. But I like Arrowhead Grill,
Neil,
and I want to support my friend.
Neil, if the Miami Dolphins can beat you, as Dylan Gabriel can't get that offense on, who are you going to turn to?
You're not-
Ghostbusters?
Listen,
No.
you're not
Luchador.
you're not sneaking me in on that. All I'm saying is that I respect you for your absurdity in this whole thing. And if for some reason you have to pay up, I will help subsidize you.
You're
now-
here for the chaos.
I'm here for the I'm Heath Ledger.
Mm.
The chaos. Now, if Ralph wins the bet, or if you win the bet, Ralph has to pay up straight up. He doesn't get subsidized.
Oh,
He doesn't-
yeah.
I
I'm
ain't
with you, so
subsidizing
I will
him.
notarize that. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
he doesn't
absolutely.
get subsidized. But if you have to pay up, I will subsidize you.
Luckily, if there's one thing we know about Ralph, is he loves to lose. As evidenced by week 1 against the 49ers with the Seahawks. He loves that loss. All right, we're moving
We
on.
should have had a segment just talking about Ralph's losses since like the dawn of time.
Oh, I would have loved that. All right, last one for Sports Girly here.
Oh, here we go.
Halsey, Taylor Swift. I guess we had to have one with her in there. And Emma Stone. Who is the oldest between those three ladies? Halsey, Taylor Swift, or Emma Stone? You are correct. Do you know how close that one is?
I think Emma Stone is in her 40s. I know Taylor. No.
No.
Sorry. Taylor
Wow.
Swift is like 34, 36.
35
Okay.
is Taylor Swift. Emma Stone is only 36.
Boy, you had her for
Wow.
an old hag.
Wow, that is-
that's
40
insulting.
is an old hag.
In Hollywood for women, yes.
That's true.
You
Respect
made-
feminism.
Yeah, you made a relinquish on that
Double
point.
standard. Absolutely.
Neil, you will end us here
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
show and the game entirely.
let's do it.
We are going to say which was the oldest sports drought that were or currently existed.
Okay,
All right.
got me. Let's do it.
Is it the current Arizona Cardinals current championship drought?
Okay.
Is it, or was it the Chicago Cubs' World Series drought that ended in 2016?
Right.
Or was it Cleveland's championship drought that also ended in 2016 with the LeBron James led championship from the Cleveland Cavaliers? Which was the longest drought,
What
or I
was-
guess the
What was
oldest
the second
drought?
one?
The second one was the Cubbies.
Cubs.
The Cubs, you're saying, is your answer.
Yes.
The Cardinals' drought is 77 years.
Mhm.
Cleveland's is 52 years,
Mhm.
and the Cubbies was 108. So
Yes!
Wow.
Bam!
True.
Wow.
And with that, we are ending the show, not ending the weekend because we are in the middle of the weekend, but we are certainly ending a week on a Dodgers victory, which means that they are heading to the World Series. Neil, prediction time. By the time we next come on to this show, will the Dodgers be up or down in the series?
The Dodgers will be up because Blake Snell is going to be Snellzilla. So I don't care who
Pitching
they
a
face.
masterpiece.
I don't care who they face. They're going to win game 1.
Yes, I figured giving you a game 1 prediction this early wouldn't be unfair to you.
Nope.
Sports Girly, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank you
week.
for having me.
Well done.
Fantastic.
Such a great time.
Excellent
Thank
sports
you.
takes.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I'm going to lose a job here, frankly. So
All right. So what I
They
did
still
fail.
need someone for sex appeal. Don't worry.
I'm a little insecure.
Speaking of sex, I failed to mention the winner, Neil. We get to your prizes to meet me on Ralph's side of the bed over here. So thank you so
I
much,
love it.
everybody else. Thank you and enjoy the show.